All right, folks. So we are speeding up here. All right. But we are here with the, it's not the quarterfinal, sorry, the round of 16 of Warlords 3. Very excited for this tournament. I know Mem's put in a lot of work to make it happen. And I am ready to break it down for you. So, a couple things to get out of the way. We've got Liry here in the blue, who is the favorite here today. He's playing as the Burmese. And then we've got Andy in the red. He's playing as the Portuguese. You may notice at the top, the Hidden Cup 5 logo is there. And you may notice there's no flags. That is because the main versions of Capture Age broke for me because of a Capture Age update. The only version that actually works for me is this version, so some of these things are going to remain until they put out a fix, which is hopefully soon. I just notified them. But yeah, that sucks. I'm not happy about it. I'm, of course, annoyed that that's the case, but the other option is I can't cast at all. So here we are. So if there were flags up there, they would both be Austrian flags, and we've got Haboob for game number 1. And we've got Portuguese for Andy. We've got Burmese for Liry. And this is a 9-villager start tournament. And you could tell that Liry's really optimized his builds. Liry was up very quickly. And again, we should be good. Now, viewers, I would love for you to tell me, as we actually have Andy going for... Andy is going to try a fast castle here. Guys, Andy is going to try... I think he's going for a Phosphorus build here. This is Phosphorus. Let me know, viewers, if there's any issues with the audio, by the way. We'll probably fix it in between games. But this is a Phosphorus build from FreakinAndy. I've made 1,000,001 videos about these builds. And Liry probably hasn't watched a single one. Let's be honest, right? Because, you know, Liry's working a full-time job now. He shows up, he plays competitive Age of Empires, he barely plays ranked. He probably doesn't know who Phosphorus is. This might end up working here. Because Liry has not gone for a build that kills very quickly. He's gone for skirms, he's gone for spears, he's going for eco. But guys, FreakinAndy's up. So I don't know if there's any Phosphorus hype out, if there's much Phosphorus hype out there, but I'm excited for this, especially with all the issues I encountered this morning. I wonder, you know, like there's a couple picks out there from Andy where he could try this again in this series. We did say that it would be really difficult for Andy to get 4 wins today. I thought like maybe 2 wins would be realistic. So if you can get 1 or 2 extra wins with a strategy like this, could be exciting. Now, class, where does the castle go? Right? There's a key element to this. He's going up. He's idled his TC a bit. He's going to be well behind in resources collected compared to Liry. Andy's done a fantastic job not to lose too much. But you got to build your castle in a very important spot. The prediction of in the face is actually pretty good. Liry actually killing the goats underneath the TC right now. Ends up finally killing a villager. And actually steals this goat as well. But you do not need... You really do not need to have a lot of food for the strategy Andy's going for. And the answer on the location is you got to build that castle next to the gold and the wood. So that's what I think we're going to see here. See, the problem for Liry is, even though he killed a vill, he's got 11 army right now, and that army doesn't contribute towards killing villagers quickly. Does Liry know this strategy? He sees the vills here. He sees the vills here. Castle's going to go down. And yeah, this is definitely an approach that we knew was coming. Liry just has to throw everything at this to try and stop this. FreakinAndy has to pull back all the weak villagers he can into that town center. This castle's at 30% right now. Now, these are Burmese spearmen, so they do a bit more damage than normal spears, and Andy is worried about this. Andy's lost another villager. He's going to lose another villager. He's going to be at 18 villagers. But he is going to get his castle up. And then he's going to chop trees. And then he needs to have resources to get a lumber camp. Or sorry, a mining camp on the gold. And then he's going to make organ guns. And Liry knows that his opponent's eco is way worse than his. Liry has to try and defend from this. He's going to drop a tower here, which is interesting. And he's going to drop stone walls towards the front. This is actually a really good decision here from Liry. Now, the reason this build can be strong is simply because you've got a strong unique unit very quickly in the game. But then also because the opponent's army can't ever damage your eco because the castle protects both. So I just love the fact that we're seeing this. I will point out that Liry killing those couple goats was a pretty big deal because Andy's trying to produce villagers still. And at the moment, I think we need to put market events on. Oh, the market events are on. Okay. At the moment, he doesn't have the food income to produce any more vills. So, yeah. Good morning, everyone. Or good afternoon, whatever. Welcome. And real quick, live viewers, I know you're all focused. Audio is fine, right? Is everything good? It's been a week and a half since I've covered games live, and we have essentially a new program here, so everything's good. Awesome, thank you. So I think what's really important here for Andy, you have to keep every organ gun alive. You can't be losing organ guns needlessly, and you need to get some pressure in here quickly. Timing is the most important thing. These trash units for Liry will die. The skirmishers could maybe be helpful. They're not the best unit against organ guns. But I do think that it's still useful to have something out there. This tower also helpful. Just a little bit of resistance. Liry's going to click up to castle. He won't be in castle age for 2.5 minutes. Has 34 vills. Will have a tower protecting everything. And there's a hole! Liry left a hole in the wall. Honestly, the strategy was perfect. But game one of this series, a strategy he's probably never seen before, and there's a hole so the organ guns can walk in. But Andy still has to be careful with his micro here, and he still has to avoid these towers somewhat. Feel like this is a great situation for Andy to drop a siege workshop. Now, he doesn't necessarily have the economy to be able to justify that. But you're basically choosing between a couple more organs and a siege workshop, and I think the siege workshop can be helpful. Guys, this is so freaking epic. This is so epic. The fact that we are seeing another attempt in a tournament with of the phosphorus strategy, the fact that it's a much greater player than the other attempts I've seen it in the past. FreakinAndy is a top 16 player. He's using the phosphorus strategy against Liry, one of the most accomplished players in the game here. And Liry has no clue what to do about it right now. It's 24 villagers against 27. Liry's idle time is off the charts. He's lost 8 villagers now, and it will continue to be more because there's organs everywhere. What a crazy, crazy thing we're witnessing here. Because there's always a question of, like, is this strategy actually good? Or are people just not expecting it? Well, I think expecting it is part of it. But yeah, the strategy is actually good. And then here's the other aspect. FreakinAndy, who is a 2K6 player without YOLO strategies, unlike our boy Phosphor, of course. He's adding eco, too. So it's not like he's all in. He's actually able to manage an economy at home, mix in eco upgrades, and create villagers here. Wow, that's so good. Organ Gun's going to continue to come through. And it's going to be... Liry's going to try and go for monks here. But he can't take gold. So he's going to have a really tough time. Monk upgrades are cheaper for the Burmese. So you could go for redemption. But what is that going to be? 2 monks to convert 10 organs? This is going to be way too complicated, I feel, for Liry. He knows this tower is going to go down, so he's trying his best. He knows he needs his gold, so he garrisons. 40 population here for Andy. And, I mean, I've been on the other side of some crazy fast castle shenanigans when I've been the favorite in tournament sets. Doesn't feel good to lose. Doesn't feel good. It really puts you in the wrong frame of mind. At least me, anyways. I'm sure Liry has a stronger mindset than myself. He's going to be able to dust it off because he has a lot more faith in his abilities here, but... This has just been a slaughter, guys. This has been absolute slaughter. Liry, one of the best players in our game. Kind of no clue on how to handle this at the moment. Probably playing on because it is the first game, but also because he feels like my opponent must not have good eco. Because he witnessed everything that Andy did. Andy abandons all food eco, all areas of his base. And Andy is going to back away now, so that's good for Liry. The redemption pays off, even though he didn't get a conversion. The organ guns back away. And this game might go on a little bit longer. It's, we have devotion for Andy now, so he can resist some conversions. That's not bad. Looks like he's going to try and snag this. So Liry back on gold. He's been on wood. It's going to be full monks from him. But yeah, you need a lot of monks to be able to convert this many organ guns here. Now, I think if this was a standard arena style game, I think what we'd see from Andy is another monastery and he'd just go atonement to try and convert Liry's monks. I mean, the devotion choice is very nice. I also love the fact that we see the, I love the relic next to the pyramid. It's very nice. But yeah, we'll see if Andy just chooses to stick around because he feels he has the numbers or what here. Because this should be dead monks, in my opinion. There are the monks. They're all grouped up, which is not what you want against organ guns. And every single monk dies for one organ gun conversion. And FreakinAndy wins the game with the Phosphorou build. We have ourselves a series. And exciting times. Once again, apologies for some of the technical issues I had that I couldn't control. But as well as speeding up at the start of the game. But we're in it now. Well played from Andy there. And I mean, guys, if you want to hear how you counter this strategy, you're going to have to go watch any like 10, 12, 14 videos I've talked about this. There's many different civs that you could do this strategy with. But I am going to like simplify it, I guess, because I can't talk about it, in full. And basically say, I think on some level, you need to expect it. And you need to go for a strategy that is fast and aggressive, or you need to go fast castle. Liry's strategy was fast, but it was skirmishers and spears, which do not kill villagers quickly. If it was an archer opening, it would have had a better chance at killing a lot more villagers. It's just like skirms and spears just simply not good enough to kill enough vills, and then organ guns. Incredibly good against basically everything. Organ guns are a really good unit. They're an amazing unit. I think their biggest weakness would be up against Siege and Castle Age, but it's just amazing play from Andy there as we start off the series. So a quick look. I mean, you don't see this every day. 37-5 KD against Liry. Liry with a 0.14 KD. I guess this is where the classic saying really holds true. It is not going to get worse for Liry in that regard this series. I would be shocked if it's worse than that. But a best of 7 here, folks. So strap in. Should be an excellent series. Let's go. All right, game number 2, folks. Welcome in. We've got game number 2 on Kawasan. This is going to be more of a standard game, I imagine. And we've got FreakinAndy, who won the first game with the fast castle organ guns. Amazing stuff. I'm pumped about it. Probably going to make a separate video about the whole situation because it's that exciting. So I hope you guys, if you watched it live, feel as though you appreciated something special here today. Hope the rest of the series is awesome. Andy up 1-0. Not what I expected, to be honest, on a map Haboob. And we've got Kawasan here, Japanese, Persians, both really good civilizations for this map. Because they're great with, they're great in hybrid situations. Now, I would say maybe like 75% of the games that I've seen on this, in Warlords qualifiers and even some of the training, players usually go to separate pawns. Now, I don't know why that is, because you're always in the middle of 2 of them. But that has always seemed to be the case. In this case, though, Liry has scouted the fact that Andy is here. Andy has not scouted the fact that Liry is here. So I point that out because as a player, you are a product of your experiences, right? And that's the same for you guys as a viewer as well. Even if you don't play the game yourself, it's what you have seen often becomes, it forms your thinking on strategy. And I feel like there's a chance here that Andy simply assumes that his opponent has docked the other side. Because for now, he's just brought his scout back home. He didn't really scout far enough here. Might have caught a glimpse of a Vill, though. I'm not going to go back and check that, but he did scout far enough where maybe he caught a glimpse of a villager and does know, even though it's not in the fog there. Yeah, R-Base, I've heard theories like that before. R-Base says, my theory is players are more comfortable going straight north-south instead of towards the other corner. Yeah, there's interesting theories with I think it was the Brood War map from NAC. I also had theories of the directions players would scout first. It's kind of an interesting thing. I think Nilly brought that up at one point as well, so. So which civ do I prefer here? I think I prefer the Persians in terms of how their eco plays out. Having more HP on their docks is just insane. Better TC work rate is amazing. However, Japanese are actually a really good matchup against the Persians the longer the game goes. I would say if this game is even in late Castle Age, that is where the Persians will start to have some problems here. So we've got Liry on the way to the next stage. I think we're going to see a lot of this build here on this map. The pawns provide a lot of food. Here in this case, Liry knows his opponent is here. And he probably is going to go 2 docks here because he's up against Japanese fishing ships, right? So it looks to me like the villager that built the original dock will come over, build another dock. But as I say that, it looks like Andy's going to pretty much do the same. Andy's on golds. Andy's bringing the Vil. And Andy's going to do the same. So we're going to have double dock action over here. But an amazing start for Liry. It's just because Persians start with the extra wood and the extra food. And their TC works a little bit faster. It adds up to moments like this. And I think Andy's scout should die here. That is an amazing start for Liry. This is exactly what Liry wanted to start the day. And guys, all I wanted to start the day was I wanted a decent amount of people to show up and to have no technical difficulties. I didn't think about gifted subs from people like Lieutenant Dan. Thank you, Lieutenant Dan, for the 25 gifted subs. Welcome, my friends. Good to be back. It has been a warm welcome so far, guys. But yeah, still technical difficulties, which I think we've worked past. As much as we can anyway. So 3 docks from Andy. Andy loses his scout, so now he won't be able to see any land transitions here. And this villager is going to die to the fire galley. Amazing start for Liry, who has the 2 fires out. It'll be up against 2 fires, but there won't be any repair potential now for Andy. And yeah, honestly, you really must be feeling like you need to do something special right now if you're freaking Andy. Just because you don't have a scout, your fish are being attacked, you don't have a repair villager here. Now what you can do is you can use the Japanese fish to block, which he's trying to do. And that could maybe change things for you. Also, I think a demo at some point could be really strong from him. Dan, I didn't see any messages from you. But yeah, thank you guys. You're not the only one who's been popping off with gifted subs so far. I like how patient we're seeing Liry be with his demo. This is just so weird. Japanese fish feel so unnatural, but boom, perfect demo. The demo kills 2 ships, and it also weakened a fishing ship. And so it does feel like this pond is all but lost now for Andy at this point. Even with all the bonuses you can get excited about with the Japanese, Liry just had the better build order and is playing the better game here. Now, here's what's beautiful from Liry's perspective is this isn't a surprise, right? So he knows about this now because he's had this scout active. Now, he's going to lose the scout because I just jinxed him. Oh, wow, look at Liry. Amazing with the scout, and then he loses it. But still, prior to him making that mistake and me making him look bad, it was really good work from him to know that that's coming. He will know, though, that his opponent has a range up before he even completes his. So there is a timing for Andy. Liry trying to get walls down. And you could tell there's a little bit of panic here because he knows the army could be on the way. But honestly, there's just not much of an army coming from Andy at all. This is interesting. I think Andy knows that his opponent knows. And so he knows, since his opponent knows, that he needs to not go aggressive here in feudal. Like, basically, based on what Liry is seeing right now, based on what Liry knows, he is probably expecting a lot of army from Andy. And Andy said, you know what? Actually, I don't think I'm going to do much damage with that. We're going to skip that. Drop the trusty market and try and get the Castle Age here. And did also drop a dock over here to add some fishing ships. which, of course, Liry is not contesting, and Liry has not scouted. Liry, though, will have his fishing ships over here, though. And I actually think what Andy's going to try and do is simply just demo the fish, but Liry has actually spread out his fishing ships. Yeah, you see that? It's pretty costly to invest into a demo to just kill fish, but I think if you can kill 2, it's worth it. I like the thought process because basically you're worried you're going to be behind in resources collected. But at the moment, it doesn't really feel like Andy is. I mean, resources collected is at the bottom left here. So, hey, positive, by the way, guys. Everyone say ooh and ah when I do this, by the way. Positive is I have this back. There's the resources on the map. Yeah, we had this added for Hidden Cup. I needed my normal version of Capture Age updated, which took months. They updated my normal version of Capture Age to have this and some of the other things, and then the version broke. So it doesn't work. So we're using the Hidden Cup version now, which is why, like, flags don't work, for example, because we only had heroes. But, you know, after that's fixed, I'll stop complaining, and then we'll have this feature as well as many of the other things. And I'm excited about that. Ooh, big moment, big moment. Oh, and Andy notices this. That's a huge deal. Because basically, Andy's okay. Like, if Andy has 5 fishing ships over here, or 4 fishing ships, sorry, and the opponent only has 3 over here, Andy's Japanese with some nice walls down. It could be in a good spot to stabilize this. Andy's looking like he's in a really strong spot. He definitely wasn't the favorite here, but I've been really impressed with how he's played so far today. Game 1, obviously, was, you know, a YOLO all-in strategy. But here, this is more of a standard approach, and the standard approach just looks good. Anyone who just got here, game number 1 was insane from FreakinAndy. And he knows that Liry's going to try and contest the fish over here. So he did make some fires, and he also knows the middle hill here can be really important. So, and I'm wondering now what Liry's plan is going to be. We see a stable at home. He's probably not expecting to see his opponent up this quickly. And skirms go to the middle. At this point, honestly, if you can just kill spear with these skirms, you're happy. Because these skirms are going to be a goner if your opponent has a stable. So Liry going to kill a couple spears in exchange for skirmishers. Not a bad trade, in my opinion. And he also knows that his opponent is building a TC there towards the middle. So there's 1 relic there. Monastery will be built. Monks are going to be needed if you're up against any knights, which Persians normally switch into. Andy sees the spearman there from Liry in a pretty nice position. Being active with the scout, making Liry work a little bit with the micro. Nice micro from Andy. Andy's in great shape. And it will be War Galley upgrade now for Liry. Might be a little concerned at the moment. But I like the War Galley upgrade. With that, he can pop out here and kill these fish. We didn't see War Galley for Andy. Andy doesn't have any farms. Liry has plenty of farms. I feel like losing those fish could be tricky. But there's also berries towards the middle. So you can kind of get by with that. At the moment, Andy doesn't know that War Galley is in for his opponent yet. He also can't really afford it for himself here after producing the knight. Fletching's on the way. Looks like monks, cav archers is the long-term plan here for Andy. And he's going to get... He just gets fletching now. The cav archers aren't that strong yet, but anything that's out there from Liry's also not that strong yet, so... I think not having fletching for the time being could be okay. Wow, Liry really being patient here, which is surprising to me, but that patience is going to lead to an easy kill. The scout goes down there for Liry. We're probably going to see him pop out here. E. Norby, thank you for the 17. Thank you, Rooster Chuck. Killer, thank you. Yeah, Alaska was amazing. Thank you for asking. It was a great time. I'm jet lagged right now, but I'm also really excited to really excited to cast some Age Man. A full clear up here from Liry. Double pawns domination. Still no Bodkin arrow for Andy. Does Andy know this? Because usually you would have that upgrade by now. Like, there is a chance that he clicked fletching, thinking he was clicking bodkin. I think he probably is aware. If he is aware, he really needs to cancel a couple vills for a moment and research that. You pretty much should just give up on this water at this point. There's not a lot of fish to fight for, and there's bodkin arrow now. So monks can convert any knights or camels that are out. Cav archers are also pretty good against that. Cav archers do also receive a lot of damage from the camels, though, so you have to be careful. Especially if you don't have bloodlines. But Liry doesn't have bloodlines. So I think the biggest issue here is Liry's going to have a ton of siege. Liry has 1 mangonel out, but he's got 2 more inside that siege workshop with a 3rd more in queue. And now Andy sees it. This might make Andy freak out, feel like he needs his own siege. Could also see him consider redemption to just convert that siege. And this is where you start to fall into some potential problems with the Persians. Their siege isn't that great long-term. Camels looks like it could be problematic against lots of cav archers. One mistake here from Andy, and it's game over, though. He's got to be so careful. Again, no bloodlines, so these cav archers really can't tank many shots. But he'll have his own siege here. This is going to be tough for Liry, because the berries create these tiny choke points. And, like, if you click through here, your mangonels are going to stack on the same tile, which is just awful. Now, guys, I'm not speaking from experience when I say this. This is just all hypothetical. But it is possible to lose 5 mangonels on 1 tile on this map. Okay, that's all I'm saying. It is possible. 5 of them will stack if you click them through the berries. All hypothetical situations. This is just now the 2nd TC for Liry, by the way. But Persians can stay on 1 TC for so long. His economies looked fantastic, honestly. But you could tell he wasn't really comfortable moving through the middle after seeing that there was a siege workshop from Andy. Even still, though, great micro there from Liry. And all these upgrades coming in for Andy, but now he needs to back away. It's a bit interesting there. It's like, you make the siege, you want to push, you want to get some timings, but it did feel like he could have just stayed on the hill, and it would have actually made life a little bit easier for him. Oh, man. Big shot. Big shot. Liry sees it. Andy sees it. These are all weak now. Micro. And amazing micro there from Andy. Still ends up being a 1-for-1. 90 population for both. Really close game. Liry needs this one, guys. I mean, Liry's the favorite, right? I think there's going to be many people here who still will say that Liry will win this series, even if Andy goes up 2-0. But I'm not even sure on that because Andy has played so well. This feels like 2 players playing at their peak who match up very nicely against each other. Andy does not seem to be nervous at all, right? It seems like he's got confidence in his abilities here, and he's showing that in his decision-making. Liry's going to have +2 armor for these camels. Plus, he's going to have the siege. Andy's on stone. I think his plan may be to head to the middle and drop a castle there at some point. We've got monks healing up on either side. We're going to have siege from either side. And yeah, Liry he pretty much doesn't have options. He can't attack here because Andy's walled. Like, maybe he could find a side attack, but it's unlikely. He has to fight through the middle. Which is not going to be easy at all. Oh, man, that was crazy. Andy had to click away with the knights. And there was a moment there where maybe because he was distracted with the knights, his CA got hit. And redemption, an upgrade I thought Andy was going to get a long time ago, finally on the way. And this is where I would struggle from Liry's position. Because it's very likely that anytime he attacks, the monks are going to convert either camels or siege. So I think he might even assume redemption is in right now. Because of how everything's moving. But I think you just have to accept that you're going to lose some units. And you have to go in and try and kill those monks with your mangonels. Or your camels, I guess. This is nervy stuff, guys. I'm even nervous here. What's happening? This is crazy. Attack round there from Liry was really solid. I said Liry, and I meant to say Andy. I'm sorry. You get it, though. Liry ended up getting the kill anyways. Stone count is rising for Liry, but you want a castle towards the middle. So that means we're building up towards a massive fight here. He's got 20 camels. 20 camels against 30 cav archers can work. And the monks going for camel kills instead of siege kills, which they're kind of forced to do. But the cav archers here from FreakinAndy are going to kill the monks so he can bring in the knights. He only has one knight remaining. There's not many monks around for Andy, but if he has enough to convert the siege, he can be fine here. And he converts one of the mangonels. He also kills another one. This one gets a shot, almost gets a shot off, excuse me. Oh man, guys, this is insane stuff. I mean, there's still camels out there from Liry, but I'm still seeing monks pop out every now and then. I'm still seeing choke points, which I think can be amazing for the cav archers. And I still just don't know if Liry is going to be able to continue this push. The game could not be more close in terms of pop. This was the timing where Liry wanted that castle. And we said it. Late castle age. Once the economy is at a certain state, Japanese just feel like they have all the options to counter the Persians. And there's no bonus that I could get excited about with the Persians right now beyond the economy that makes me feel like they can compete with what the Japanese have in terms of potential. We've seen the cav archers, we've seen the monks, but we could still see pikemen upgrade. Just felt like it took a little bit too long for Liry to get that push going. Remember when he had 4 mangonels against 0? He didn't want to make the push for the reasons we explained. Micro needs to be good here for Andy. Andy doesn't convert the siege. Chooses to convert a couple camels here. God, this is so awkward. Honestly, I think we see Liry make a run for it. I think we see him make a run for it here. Because there's so much action happening here. I think it's worth trying. If you feel like the hill is everything to you, it might be worth it. Here he goes. You could tell he had the same thought process, but as he started to move forward, the cav archer mass was too strong. And they're going to have thumb ring now. Oh, man. Yeah, you know, a lot of players won't go pikeman in Andy's position because they want to save that food for the Imperial Age. It's kind of a risky move if you think about it. Because clearly Liry's only going to go camels. But if you can click up to imp and still hold this position, then you can think about pikeman. Liry has no chance of going to the middle. Now, there's only berries in the middle, but the hill is directly between these two. And that's what makes this hill so important. Liry going with light cav. He's going to kill one monk. He'll kill a second monk. Oh, and Andy's trying to snipe the light cav. He has to back away. No pikeman upgrade yet. This is a good fight for Liry. That's a really good fight for Liry. He killed a lot of cav archers. But he's going to lose a lot of camels. And so this is a continuous problem. He needs a castle down. He needs something. And oh god, Andy might be thinking the same right now. Guys, do we have a first doubt sighting of the tournament? Doubt? Both of them? Maybe. Liry's going to throw away his army so he can complete his castle. But his army will die. There's going to be cav archers around. Andy's now building his own castle here. And Andy's on the way to the Imperial Age. Liry's castle will complete. Andy's castle should complete as well. And Andy can make trebs. I think Liry's in big trouble here, guys. Andy has played this so well. So, to repeat some of the words that I said kind of at the start of the day, I said based on Liry's reputation, based on his career, he is definitely the favorite in this series. But he's working a full-time job, right? He hasn't been as active as many of the other players in the top 16. And there were recent examples of him losing when I think people didn't expect him to. And it started to raise some questions, you know? Started to make you think, like, how important is it that someone is extremely active all the time? Of course, Liry was able to get by without being as active as others for years. But, you know, GG. Andy goes up 2-0 here. Andy played that so well, guys. Remember how disastrous the start was for him. Think about that. He lost his pawns immediately. Liry had the scout alive as well to be able to see everything that Andy was doing. Andy just said, you know what? I'm going to switch over to this pond. I'm going to take that middle area. And I believe that I can do this with the Cav Archers. And the Cav Archers and the Monks, it wasn't perfect all the time, but it was really smooth from him to be able to compete with Persians in resources collected. To beat Persians in resources collected while also microing like that takes a special, special talent. And FreakinAndy now must be feeling so good about his chances here. But he still has to take it just one game at a time. There's the resources collected. That was a beautiful game from him. And if you're thinking, what can Liry do a bit differently? You know, I really think, first off, you have to credit Andy for taking the middle here because that's what makes this decision questionable. But I'm remembering that one moment where I made the mangonel joke. And it was like, okay, so it's like right here. He's got 4 mangonels, 5 camels against 15 cav archers. And that's pretty much it. And he didn't feel comfortable once he saw his opponent had a siege workshop pushing the middle area at all, right? He showed up, he saw this, and he said, oof, I can't do anything about it. On paper, he has the better army right now. He's a very good position to push. But because of the positioning from Andy and because how Liry would basically have to play perfect to push from this position because of how awkward it is, Liry backed away. But like right there, that was where I felt like Liry's position was pretty good. And it could get worse if there was time, and Andy had that time. So well played to him. And yeah, welcome in everybody who just got here. 2-0 lead here for FreakinAndy. Let's go. All right, so here we are, folks. Game number 3. And we've got enclosed here. This map is really good. I think this map is also a bit better in my mind from a 9-villager start, which is what Warlords is, or Empire Wars start. Which I don't say that very frequently. I don't know if I've ever said those words at all. That a map is better with 9-vill or Empire Wars. But I think Enclosed just seems to fit that a little bit more in my mind. And players have distance between the two of them. And the big question, the big struggle on this map is always how are you getting gold and how are you getting stone? Because that is on the outside of the map. Your wood and your food, with the exception of the berries anyways, should always be pretty safe because it's all enclosed towards the TC. But everything else is what you fight for. Now, the deer are kind of trolling Andy here. But Andy's gone for the Saracens. So the Saracens have that potential using the market to kind of cut some corners. Portuguese, though, really solid. Cheap gold units. Whether it's full archers, whether it's a combination of archers with knights, cheap technologies, wood coming in from your berries as well. Portuguese just feel very, very smooth. But Saracens are dangerous. Saracens are really dangerous with the all-in archer play. And then, now they have camels with crazy HP in the Castle Age as well. So Saracens are, I think, more well-rounded than a lot of people really think. Before, it was kind of like, okay, well, they have knights, but their knights aren't that great long-term. They have camels, but their camels don't get good until imp. But with the changes the devs made, now they've got 130 HP camels in Castle Age, so really solid. Gold is a problem on this map for both players, though. Pretty far away from the TC, but also where its position is awkward. I think if they could have chosen, they would have preferred their berries be where the gold is. Berries are actually quote-unquote safer for these guys. Looks like this water buffalo hasn't been found by Andy. But, I mean, he's still just pushing in deer and being as greedy as possible. Liry's already clicked up to the feudal age, and Liry's forward scouting right now. So, from the looks of things, it looks like this is going to be a scout build here for Liry. Plenty of food for the water buffalo available. Finds this water buffalo as well. And I think Andy might be going for another fast castle approach. Why is he not up yet? Yeah, this must be another fast castle attempt from Andy. God, the water buffalo are just constantly groaning into my ear. Don't clip that out of context. That would be kind of weird. But they just occasionally just like, oh, like they're in such dire pain. It's also in my right ear. I don't know how that is for you guys, but for me, it's always coming in my right. Maybe it's... Oh, it depends on where they are on screen. Ah, okay, interesting. I just found that out. All right. Anyways, Andy should know that Liry's going to be going up to feudal age here and will want to keep his scout alive. Liry hasn't really seen anything that would indicate fast castle from his opponent. He might have some suspicions, but again, I'm not really sure what you even do then. And Scout kind of diving through here. Bit of an interesting situation because Liry has the stronger of the two scouts for 40 seconds. But Andy will be pretty happy that Liry has kind of trapped himself in here at the moment. Definitely is a fast castle here for Andy. And Scout is trying to escape. Scout is dodging some shots. Scout does escape. And, okay, Andy is sending one villager towards the gold right now. Is he going to try and sneak a vill? He has no loom. Back at home, it's going to be archers for Liry. He changed his strategy up. I think originally it was going to be scouts. We see a stable here for Andy. No loom for him. This villager is now blocked off from entering the village. And so they delete a house. Okay. Market, stable is the plan for Andy. This is going to be fast castle all in knights. But he's going to be pretty much out of food here. So that's the issue. He is up. And now he'll probably start to seed farms. But this is a high risk, high reward strategy for Andy. And Liry's like, come on. How am I supposed to damage him right now? But he sees the market. He notices there's no vills here anymore. And so he should recognize the need for spearmen, I would say, based on seeing the stable. I understand the strategy idea. I'm still not sure if it's insanely good. Like, basically, 2 knights are going to have to accomplish an awful lot here for Andy. But it does make Liry play in a way that he's not used to. That's what I like the most about this strategy, is the fact that Andy recognizes how the type of player that Liry is and how Liry would want to play. And he is simply changing it up so Liry has to adapt to him. Notice how Liry didn't rush fletching. He's using the market as well. He's trying to go castle. All very good things. Yeah, Andy, really unique style. Pushes in an extra tier. Still hasn't left his base yet here with his scout. And I don't know, like, is Andy going to have the confidence to move out and just TC this gold? What's the situation here? Because basically, you can make 2 knights from just selling your stone or your wood or whatever, but I think beyond that, you really do need access to gold. God, dude, this is like, I mean, props to Andy, but the fact that he hasn't scouted his opponent yet. Top 100 Age of Empires, or sorry, top 16 Age of Empires, it kind of bothers me, dude. Listen, I love Phosphorus strats and all that good stuff, but the whole not scouting your opponent or adapting based on your opponent at all is just wild to me. There he goes for a camel. Well, I mean, 125 HP without bloodlines. Scout comes this way, looking to see what Liry's doing. We'll see the gold. Villagers are shifting off of gold now. What? Liry seems terrified of this. That's really interesting. Liry has no stone, by the way, so he won't be able to, he won't be in a position to drop town centers. Guys, I don't think Liry knows how to deal with this stuff. I think he's clearly very afraid of it, of what's happening. He was expecting an all-in attack. He's been completely mind-gamed here. Liry feels like the opening from Andy is going to be all-in army. And so he's left his gold when he doesn't actually have to. And Andy had no loom that whole time. Andy's going to just boom now. He's simply going to focus economically, at least on 2 TCs. Ooh, that's interesting. Ooh, if Andy does push, he might not know about that. Liry sneaking a TC over to that gold. Monastery from Liry. And to the 1 knight, 1 camel counterattack here from Andy. Will probably be happy about the fact he doesn't see his opponent on gold. keeps moving along, goes to the berries where the villagers just left. Oh, Scout. Ooh, Scout almost died to an archer there. He's probably going to put that bad boy on auto scout here in a second. There's a deer here. And at least one villager would die. But I'm not sure Andy actually notices that. I think he does notice that because he sent the knight. But now Liry notices that he's been noticed. No monk on the way for him, though, because he doesn't have the gold. Scout goes down. This is funny. Liry actually blocking with the villagers there. And there's no way Andy will actually run through. So this is now going to go late game. And Andy, instead of going for lots of army, has essentially turned this into a boom. Andy hasn't lost a unit yet. He has a 4-0 KD. He has a villager lead. And he has really solid eco upgrades. So it's not as if he's cut corners to the level where we keep thinking that this is going to be problematic for him. And normally what I would say is that it could be problematic with army comp for the player who booms. But if you look at how Liry's playing, Liry doesn't really have lots of army either. Long term, I actually think Saracens is the superior civilization of the two. Portuguese having cheaper gold units, it cannot be underestimated though. But in terms of the military options, I don't think Portuguese Cavalier is ever really anything that makes a lot of sense. Portuguese don't get Hussar. Saracens do. Saracens have the camels, of course. They have Mamelukes. They have bomber cannons. They have arbalest that shred through buildings. They've got siege ram. A lot of these things Portuguese can't say. That should be a deleted knight. Andy deletes a knight. Very smart thinking. Kind of sucks for him that he had to do that. Nice job from Liry to protect his vills as he goes for TC number 3. Crazy stuff here, guys. Also love it when people just show up and they're just kind of like, wait, what? And listen, there are situations where the favorite loses and we absolutely have the rights to question them in some way and say, hey, maybe they didn't have their day, right? And people will say, well, this individual won or lost because the other individual wasn't performing their best. Liry hasn't been able to have a game that is his style yet because of how Andy has approached it. And you got to give Andy all the credit here. Liry's still looking to find his footing. I noticed a lot of the relics are really close to Liry. Like this one's super close. I don't know where the other one he just brought in was, though. But yeah, if you think it's just going to go to imp at this point, like this is basically arena right now. And adding scouts onto the field to deny relics from being collected is really smart. Liry, though, is going to grab relic number 2. And I guess relic number 3 is right here. I always thought there was more relics than that on this map. I thought there was like 6 or 7. But I guess maybe I was wrong. As you can see, tons of golden stone on the map. That's quite a few monks there for Liry. Maybe enough monks where Andy will consider dropping a second stable or going for the light cab upgrade. And we see TC number 4 for Andy, who continues to just accept that this is going to be a boom game. And is already ahead in the boom, believe it or not. Is already ahead in resources collected and some of these upgrades. You do have to be careful here for Andy. You can't go too long without producing lots of military. But he is going to bring the monk with the relic back. So he'll have 3 relics against 2. And Liry housed right now, actually. Just slightly, but... yeah, again, it just hasn't been a game where Liry has been able to be really aggressive. This is amazing for FreakinAndy right now. Ragged Flag, Liry never really enjoyed streaming. Like, streaming is very different from playing the game. I never got the impression that he really enjoyed streaming, right? Liry's obviously a big competitor. I always enjoyed watching Liry stream, but in talking to him, it's never been something that, like, he at least could do to the level of a full-time streamer, right? Where you have to stream all the time and be active all the time. So I think that's probably an answer to your question. Crazy economy from Andy. Now what's the next step? I think you need a bit more army, right? Now, Everyone I've ever talked to in the top 10 who've talked about Andy always talks about how he undermakes army all the time. Let's see if maybe that's a weakness for him. Oh, man. Liry's coming forward. Atonement's in for FreakinAndy, by the way. So he could actually convert his opponent's monks, but he just converted the spears. Oh, he converted one monk. And that monk has the faith to convert more. Disaster for Liry. Are you kidding me? Andy gets away with converting 2 spears, and then he converts one monk that now converts another monk, and that monk's now going to convert another monk, and that monk, wait for it. Well, he doesn't have the faith, actually. So he's not going to be able to convert another monk, but that is amazing there for Andy. And this gives Andy a little bit of time to know what's coming and to prep some army here. And disaster class for Liry right now. Liry's about to get swept. Liry is 30 vills behind. Andy is dropping enough stables where he can go full light cav and win this game. This game might be over. Wow. And you can understand what Liry was doing. Liry was thinking, okay, he's undermaking army. I'm going to have spears to protect my monks. And then I go castle drop him. And we punish this. But because of the atonement choice, everything turned around there. And now you have to place a defensive castle. But now your opponent's headed to your base. Your opponent can pick you apart from different sides. This could be a real problem. Love the castle position for Liry. I mean, I say love. That is considering the circumstances. Obviously, what Liry would have really loved is a forward castle. But that's just simply not an option anymore. Andy realizes. He won't know that he has a 30 villager lead or whatever it is right now. But he will realize that his opponent might go up. This castle protects this area, so if anything, we might just see Andy build a castle here at some point just to protect this area and then swing around to the other side. And he clicks up. And yeah, Andy is thinking about this other area now, right? Because this is basically blocked off in some ways in his mind. But guys, like, what does Liry make? Organ guns might be his best option, but you do need multiple castles for that. That's going to take time. Economy wins games. Guys, we haven't even seen the crossbow tech researched once by Liry this series. Isn't that crazy? I'm sure he would have loved to try it, but that's what he's known for. None of these games have, like, we haven't had a natural situation for that yet for Liry. Jubem says, why not crossbow and Haboob? Well, you don't have the economy to do both right now. I do like choosing to do one of them, right? So, you know, opening with crossbow, maybe switching into Haboob with that is a good move, potentially. It's probably a bit better than organ guns if you feel like you're not going to have the production of organs. But he does have 6 organs now. He is probably going to drop... Oh! Nice trap. He's probably going to drop another castle here in a second. So organ guns could actually work. And he drops the castle pretty much where we expected it, just to protect this area. And that little scouting party, I know he lost units, but that tells him that Liry's committing to a lot of organs. Let's see what Liry chooses to do. He does go for conscription first. So it's just going to be this army for now for Liry. Castle over here to protect himself. 30 vills behind here. What I'd like to see from Andy is tons of Hussar. Like, I don't think you need to be too worried about low numbers of organs. I think Hussar just to run past the castles and raid is life on easy mode right now. Redemption makes sense to convert the organs, of course. He already converted monks. Why not just prep to convert the organs if he has the monks out there? But yeah, I do think life is just so much easier for you. Oh! Sorry, easier for you if you're able to just raid Liry to death right at this point. And the monks hop out of the castle. Redemption is in. Block printing isn't even in yet, but Liry has to run away. And Liry can't even stick around with his monks because he knows those monks can be converted as well. And guys, all the while behind this, Andy's booming like a madman. Look at how many vills he has in queue. It converts one monk. Liry just deletes the next. It feels like Liry has no options right now because of how good FreakinAndy is preparing himself for these attacks. And also, like, Liry's attacks feel a little toothless right now because he doesn't have the resource income to really make that much. It's crazy to me, though, how well Andy plays with low numbers of army. It is wild to me. Like, 145 vills, he still only has 12 army. But because of how comfortable he is booming while using the monks or the siege or whatever, he's always in a good spot to give himself time. Starting to convert the buildings now. Lycav on the way from Liry just to kill the monks. It's about time. It's about time he makes Lycav to kill these monks. The camels are there to kill the Lycav, but there's a lot of Lycav, so most of the monks should go down. And finally, Andy pays a price for not making as much army as he needs to. And now, this is where things could get dicey. We've got 32 army for Liry. It is 8 for FreakinAndy, who's quite late to any cav upgrades. He is going to just be able to time a castle here, though. Yeah, there we go. That castle will complete. Again, like I said before, I think life on easy mode is if you're just raiding, like if you're massing Lycav here and sending them into the back of Liry's base. Like Liry basically then has a massive distraction he has to deal with, and then he can't push. But, you know, if you send any army there, then you might not have army here. Look at these Lycav. Andy might see this. And Andy tries to trap, but it's not going to work out. So Lycav are going to get through from Liry. That's good work from Liry. Guys, if Liry starts to raid Andy, the same thing I just said could happen. Where the distractions are real, and Andy could maybe make some mistakes. Liry's starting to push this way now, starting to believe maybe. We do just have 2 trebs here from Andy to go after the siege workshop for now. Lycav aren't making it through, though. The camels are here, and nice job from Andy to see the raids, track the raids, and for the most part, deal with the raids. Andy's at about 200 pop. He's got 4 bombard cannons and 4 monks in queue. That's crazy. He just makes just enough normal units, and then he's like, you know what? I just need siege and monks now. I mean, monks are expensive. Siege is expensive. If he were to lose this to organ guns, I could still see things turning around. These organ guns are not elite. We do have Arquebus in now. That's a good tech. Will Andy make any mistakes over here? Has he overextended here with his trebs? He's got a couple monks for conversion still. Nice shot from Liry. Liry will swoop in to kill the monks. He backed away with the organs as well. The monks should die. This should be a full clear up for Liry. This is very well played from Liry. And he needs a little bit more army here. Now, he is fixing that problem, right? That is changing behind this. We're just not seeing it yet. But quite a few resources went down there. Resources destroyed. Look, bottom left, guys. 2,000 more resources destroyed for Liry. Conversion's obviously in favor of FreakinAndy. But, you know, there is something that I just got to continue to come back to with Andy, and it's the fact that he's prepped himself with more map control. He has that relic, and he's just got such a good economy. Now, it's 140 villagers for Liry. They both have good economies right now. But Andy seemingly prepped to deal with any of these losses. He does lose quite a bit here, but he does convert a cannon. Andy converts another cannon right before the monks end up getting sniped. Skirms and camel and bombard cannon. Army comp here for Andy. Still catching up on techs right now. Guys, what a series from FreakinAndy. What a series. Someone says, why did Andy prioritize Bracer and Archer Armor and Skirms? Why not? Like, Skirms are pretty solid, right? They're not amazing, I agree, against organ guns. But it's a food and wood unit combined with a lot of other gold units. I think it could be really good. Still no big raids yet. Like, still no Hussar tech and raids going into Liry's economy. Still only 10 villagers have died so far in this game. And I'm just waiting. Like, I really think Andy is also waiting. He's building up enough of a threat here so he can swing to the other side. But if Hussars start to run into Liry's economy... Wow, big snipes there from Liry. That Arquebus tech is really helping with the bombard cannons. But yeah, like, if Hussars start to run into this eco, there's nothing Liry could really do about it except drop castles there. But, guys, look at the Arquebus bombard cannons. The organ guns still are not elite. Liry needs to get a lead organ gun, man. He needs to stall out light cap production to save the food for it. Elite organs and that many bombard cannons could be really, really strong. Oh, God. You guys are right. They're actually chopping through to each other right now. That could make things interesting. That's definitely something to keep an eye out for. Remember, these camels have 170 HP. Andy with plenty of stone. Andy still access to golds he's not even taking as well. And now you start to see those Hussar head this way. Andy's just hoping to convert bombard cannons. That's what he wants. He is going to convert one. We had heresy research from Liry. I missed that. So if a unit gets converted, it just dies now. That's 1,000 gold for that tech. And a big attack here from Andy. Andy decides to take the fight. Still, these organ guns are not elite. And this monk back here still hoping for conversions. Even with heresy, I mean, if you kill a unit, you'll be happy with it. That was a slaughter. I still feel like the organ guns could be the key here for Liry. But look at the Hussars now, guys. And this is where the problems come in, right? Now that you're going to have raids coming into your eco, you're now almost expected to push from this position, I would say, if you're Liry. You have to push this corner, because if you don't, this is just going to continue to add up. That camel there has killed 7 vills. These Hussars are still finding kills, and it's just too easy to spam Hussars from this position if you're Andy. Now, it's not going to be so easy to defend this area, though. Okay, elite organ guns in. The answer to counter the organ guns would be siege, by the way. But if Liry can use his own siege to take out his opponent's siege, could be really strong. This castle's being repaired, so Andy can use these 2 traps. God, he's so good at finding just enough. Just those 2 traps forces the bombard cannons away! And now the bombard cannons aren't protected. The organ guns are elite now, so it's expected they'll kill the Hussars very quickly, but those bombard cannons were far too valuable for Liry. And that has been what Andy's been waiting for. Again, the raids on the other side kind of set it up. Liry had to deal with this. He had to react to it. Still not able to deal with all of it. And as he's looking over there, Andy can tell. And Andy used one moment to defend and swoop in to kill those cannons. And now Liry can't push. So now these organ guns just kind of, you know, they defend this area, but not able to do much more than that. I do wonder how much gold is Liry going to have remaining after he finishes this gold. Because the game says he has 22 on gold, but this is like 20 villagers trying to take 1 gold tile. He does have gold here. Okay, so he's got that option. But guys, he's lost 50 villagers. He will kill these trebs. He's going to continue to fight. But in this best of 7, round of 16, it seems to me like Andy is going to go up 3-0. Just crazy stuff. Also behind it, just such a good job. He was at like 45 on food a moment ago. Now he's up to 67. He has full upgrades on those Hussars. Full upgrades on everything at this point. Even the castles have full upgrades. Organ guns are still insanely strong. And the bombard cannons could still out-bombard the bombard cannons from Andy. If Andy stops microing like a nerd here. Are you seeing this? He out-microed ballistic bombard cannons twice there. Just timed the shots. He does end up losing his bombard cannons to the light cap. Nice job there from Liry. And Liry's pushing the castle again. Are arbalests good against organ guns? They're really bad against organ guns. Against elite organ guns, they just melt. What makes the organ guns really strong is that they're actually a bit inaccurate. So you can see how big the spread is on the attack. So if you go for a low HP unit like Arbalest, your whole group just gets decimated. Guys, you don't need to research ballistics for Arquebus to pay off on your bombard cannons, right? So Liry not having that upgrade isn't the worst thing. I do think, though, he should have it for this castle. This castle would have killed a lot more. I actually am not sure, though, if getting ballistics makes the bombard cannons even better after Arquebus. I just know that they still are, you know, acting as if they have ballistics with the Arquebus tank. I mean, Andy, he just has to be patient here. Like, he's not going to be able to break this, but if he can hold this position, he really just needs the real damage on the other side. Oh, man, and he lands a big shot there. You cannot push this massive organs. It's just not an option. But as these guys get really close to chopping through... Guys, this tree has 14 wood. I don't know where this villager's going next, but I'll keep you updated. That would be huge for Andy, actually. Like, if Andy would drop a castle here, just so if Liry ran through, it'd be defended, and then cut through and started to raid there, it could be really good for him. Here's most of the gold remaining on the map is here. There's a little bit remaining here for Liry, but gold count is getting low for both players, but in particular, it's going to be Liry. Liry doesn't have the corners. He doesn't have the map control. Onager for Andy? Is he going to chop the trees when he just needs to, like, walk forward with one vill? That would be funny. I think he might want Onager in the fights. But I'm going to die laughing if he actually chops these trees when they're so close to over-chopping there. Yeah, the Portuguese could go for Feitoria if gold becomes a problem, but then you have population issues. So since he's already at 200 pop, Liry would have to play some interesting games where he'd have to delete 20 vills maybe to justify a Feitoria. I'm not so sure. This game has really slowed down here a little bit. And okay, so Andy is definitely going to push the middle because he's doing what I said. What you don't want to do is you don't want to chop through the middle and attack and then have your opponent be able to use that area. So if you castle this, then you're safe. Oh man, big attack over here. Haboob organ gun is insane though. I think Liry starts to win these fights pretty convincingly. Andy needs something more. Hussars are trying to get us around. That was actually really good from him. He somehow avoided half the Haboobs. The Hussars only cost food, so you'll take that. He does lose a lot of units though. There's still just that tree. 14 wood there, separating the two players from each other's bases right now. Andy has resources for days, but loses both of his trebs there. Oh my goodness. Guys, Andy needs to win this game. Like, Andy has had such a good position for so long. He's had such a good game plan. This is a winning position still, I think, if he could just continue to try and get raids in the back. The two castles here are sick. Like, having these castles hold this position so nicely for him. And now basically it seems like he's hoping that he gets onager shots on the organ guns. I think we might even see siege onager. Do you guys think we see siege onager here? I'm not sure if onager is really going to help you, so that's kind of the risk in going SO. Hussars are into the back. Liry will drop a castle back here. Liry's got 2 tiles of gold remaining, 1,400 gold remaining. Liry has destroyed 38,000 resources, though, from his opponent, and that's climbing. That's bottom left now. I'll toggle that back to overall resources collected in a second. Liry's army count is climbing as he loses villagers. He is starting to push. I'm starting to think that maybe that there's a chance that Liry can do this. But the Hussars are now through. He did onager cut. He did onager cut. And this is a problem for Liry, but also a problem for Andy, because Liry's going to have so much military now. There's 30 military units in queue for Liry. So if he loses 30 vills, it's going to be replaced with army. But Liry has to notice. Liry still has to notice this, guys. He doesn't notice it as we see elite Mameluke now for Andy. Andy is desperate. Andy basically realizes after this raid, if he could hold, he wins the game. But he needs something more. He's going to try freaking Mameluke now. I don't know. He doesn't really have that many castles around. Mameluke's a good unit against Haboob. I'm not sure about organ guns. Liry down to 85 vills right now. What in the world? But he's got 100 army. Well, as the host of this tournament would say, you need to push here, Liry. You need to continue to move. The populations are dead even. This is insane. The populations are even, but the type of population they're working with is not. Maybe a couple Mamelukes could help in these attacks, right? The organ guns and the Haboobs need to stay together all the time. Maybe Andy will hope for some bombard cannon or onager shots. But Liry, since he doesn't really have a lot else to look at, is able to pay attention here and micro very nicely. I'm just seeing bombard cannons going down for Andy. Is Liry going to do this? Big shots with the bombard cannons on the skirms. It is still 100 army for Liry, and he continues to push. Another bombard cannon down for Andy. Liry's going to win this game. Oh man, this would hurt me. This would hurt me if I were to lose from this position. It would affect the rest of the series for me. And I imagine it could do the same here for Andy. Another bombard cannon exposed. That will go down. Andy is falling apart. These Haboobs, they will find some villager kills, but it won't be everything because that castle's there, which is good. Look at that ball of bombard cannons. This is insane. And I do not know how you're supposed to engage on these right now if you're FreakinAndy. He's going to try with Mamelukes. He kills 2 of them. But Mamelukes are still pretty costly themselves, right? And you're going to need the castles as well. Raids are really not an option for Andy anymore. He needs everything that he has to be here and trying to stop this push. I would like to see a couple monks from him, actually. It's been a long time since he's tried that. Heresy is in for his opponent, but that could be good. Liry sniped another bombard cannon. It's actually really good for Liry's focus that he doesn't have a good economy right now. If you think your eco is an important aspect of you winning this game, you focus on it a lot more. When you realize how much you've lost, you focus more on your push than anything. And also tell Andy is like sending units from these stables right into the fight here. Might actually be helping him with distractions, but guys, for as bad as this has looked for Andy the last couple minutes, he still has that 1 extra relic. He does have access to gold, and he has held. And Liry stopped pushing, which kind of surprises me. It felt like he had an opportunity to continue through there. There are very few bombard cannons for his opponent, but maybe the Mamelukes were enough to scare him off. Maybe that consistent production from Andy was enough. And so now, Andy up to 200 pop. Now he has the superior eco, like we said. Maybe he's back to being in the greater position. Now, the thing is, if you settle right now, if you're Liry, you could be exposed for raids in areas where you don't have castles. But he does have pretty good castle spots. Castles in 3 positions that do defend most of his economy. Mamelukes might just be bombard cannon snipers at this point. And the Lycav from Liry snipe a bombard cannon there as well. What a crazy game. I would love to see Siege Ram from Andy. I don't know if he could justify it with his 3,000 food, but I really think Siege Ram could be the ticket. But the Mamelukes, guys, look at this! The Mamelukes actually go in and they snipe the bombard cannons! Most of the bombard cannons, there's actually still 3 more somehow. Wow. Okay, yeah, still 3 more. That was costly. What's the stable count looking like right now for Andy? Feels like he needs more stables. I'm seeing 3 on screen here. 3 on screen, and then he's producing from this one as well. So he seems to have stables in different areas of the map, but not in the area that helps him immediately. But Mameluke, Hussar, Skirm. That seems to be the ticket. Mameluke, Hussar, Skirm. Skirms are helpful if there's any Haboobs in the mix, of course. And Liry always needs to have the Haboobs in the mix to protect his organ guns and his bombard cannons. Liry, no gold. And that might end up being the issue here. He can't get up to 10 bombard cannons again because of the gold situation. Andy's Mamelukes will shred everything except the organ guns. And he loses another bombard cannon. Hussars swoop in, though, trying to get some kills. Bombard cannons still survive. Most of the Organ guns still survive. We're at an hour in this game off a 9-villager start. And this has been one of the most unique games I've seen in a really long time. Now, this is coming from someone who was just gone for 10 days. But would you agree with me, viewers? That this is still one of the best games you've seen in a long time. Because, like, the opening was so cool. The uniqueness of the opening. And then it felt like, you know, Liry's got no chance. Liry's dead. Oh, my God, that's the storyline. Liry this, Liry that. And now Liry's held on wonderfully. But he really needs a push. Now, guys, if you're ever pop-capped in Andy's situation, when you have Hussar, the second you're pop-capped, throw army. I know it sounds bad on paper, but, like, your population's not going to get any better than 200. I think being active with military is best. And I think throwing army into raid is what I'm thinking about here. Now, that is only if your production is set up to immediately repopulate, which is a bit of an issue for him because of the stable situation. So, you know, that could be a bit risky in this situation, but... Why do cannonballs bounce? I don't know the reasoning behind why they bounce, but they do occasionally bounce. And it seems to happen a little bit more with Portuguese bombard cannons. I'm sure there's some type of reasoning, but yeah. It says Liry has 207 pop. And it's because he made the Feitoria. So he has 100 and, 87 pop. And then he added one Feitoria, which adds 200 population. It's a bit interesting. Normally, you're not able to build this if you're at 200 pop, but it must have just been the timings on it. But this Feitoria now gives him a trickle of all res, and Liry realizes this is bad. There's only 1,000 gold remaining on the map, and that is over here. And over here, I think. So Andy's the one taking the golds. Hussars come in, and this is what we talked about. Finding those villager picks. Using those Hussars when you can. And then these skirms. These skirms are trying to head in on this side. Laughing just because I don't think the skirms are going to survive for very long. I also don't know if the Mamelukes are going to survive for very long. But they snipe a bombard cannon. I mean, feels like that's probably worth it. This castle is just so crucial from Andy. It's such a beautiful castle. And it's so tough for Liry now to stop his opponent from running through this side. Liry needs a push, guys. I think Liry has one more real solid attempt at this. I know that they're both about to just run completely out of gold. But I don't know if... Like, basically, if the bombard cannons are out of the picture, I think that Liry struggles. And bombard cannons cost a lot of gold. So, advantage FreakinAndy, in my opinion, having the 3 relics, having Hussar, having skirms. This Hussar... He's trying to leave the battlefield. If only the general knew, but it's all right. He's been spotted. He's going to join the party now. There's only 19 organ guns. I think those 19... I mean, the 19 organ guns have 76 kills, which is insane. But organ guns as well do cost gold, right? So you think of the army that's being made from both of them that don't incorporate gold... We've got Andy on Skirm and Hussar, and we've got Liry solely on Halp. No skirmisher tech for him, nor do I think that's possible. Andy just trying to feel out this army here from Liry. Get any snipe that he can. These organ guns are just insane, but it's still fine. This is completely fine for Andy, because he kills 2 more bombard cannons. The skirms and the Mamelukes are clearing up the Halbs. I think you would consider that fine. Unless you're a Hussar. I think if you're a Hussar watching, you probably wouldn't be a fan of how that whole situation played out. Mamelukes defend the cannons there. Couple Halbs coming through here. That's a bit interesting. Notice where they're taking wood, guys. They're both taking wood towards the middle. Raiding the wood line actually becomes the most important thing right now. I think Andy has an idea. Yeah, Andy has an idea that that's the case. He's going to find some kills there. Liry should understand as well. But Liry's just stuck. I actually wonder if you should bring the Mamelukes over here, but I don't know. It feels like, you know, if Liry loses this castle, he just gets raided to death. Pushing this area and the relics could be really important. 70 on food for Liry. But how long are these farms going to last? When do they start to need to reseed? Looks like he's reseeding some now. With only 11 on wood, that is really problematic for Liry's long-term potential. Liry's done a great job for only having light cav this game. He's done a really good job to be active with them. But the Mamelukes still going to deal with most of those light cav. And now it is Andy who has the military lead. 90 army for him against 80 army from Liry. Let's see how it goes. I don't know, man. I'm still voting Haboob Organ Gun. Haboob Organ Gun. Haboob Organ Gun's insane. How important will this Vitoria be? Okay, here's a question for my viewers. The longer this game goes, which is better? Well, actually, that's a stupid question. I was going to say the longer this game goes, which is better, 3 relics versus 2? Or 2 relics and a Vitoria? 2 relics and a Vitoria is definitely better. But, like, which position do you think is better? I guess I should ask you guys. Because, like, from my perspective, Andy has the better position because he can take more wood. Because, you know, he doesn't... Because he has full pop space. But I could definitely see an argument where that... You know, if this Vitoria has been up long enough, where that could be a bit different. He needs a second Vitoria? Oof. Well, then he needs to either cut off 20 army or 20 vills. I guess it would maybe be vills. This is an area that FreakinAndy never walled up. And Liry gets through. Oh, that's huge. This could be bad for Andy. Andy needs to notice this. And he's also going to try and return the favor here with some raids. And these raids will find villager kills as well. Andy now down below 100 eco. Did try and get a feel for Liry's activity levels here. And... Uh-oh. Okay, he has to out-micro ballistics here. Yeah, you have to time the shot perfectly. It's crazy that ballistics still hasn't been researched by Liry, though. That's still wild to me. And Arquebus still works. It's just that Andy is timing his shots really, his dodges really well. And Organ Guns got flattened there, guys. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I mean, Bombard Cannons will probably go down here for Andy. He does have some monks in the mix for the first time in a while. And they do nothing. But the population is going down and down and down and down and down. And a lot of that could be because ballistics isn't in. And so the castle is missing a lot of these shots. We do see the second Vitoria now for Liry. So there's that. But it is 100 army against 80 army right now. And there's a whole lot of freaking hussars. This might be it. But wait. The Organ Guns say no. Not today. That's still an amazing engagement. Andy just wanted the Bombard Cannons. That's the key reason he went in there. And while he did lose most of his hussars to these Organ Guns behind, now that the Bombard Cannons are out of the picture, it takes a lot longer for Liry to be able to make more of them. There's also hussar raids here, finding villager kills. It doesn't seem like Liry notices that. Liry's population, though, may be reasonable to survive with 2 Vitorias. I mean, he's getting stone. He's getting gold from that. But he's down to 50 villagers, guys. 50 villagers is brutal. The reason Vitorias are seen as strong is because they bring in resources that other players just cannot get at this stage, right? But you still are sacrificing 40 population space for them. It still is very slow. And the key units, the Bombard Cannons and the Organ Guns, down to, well, it's going to be 3 Bombard Cannons soon for Liry. And he only has 11 Organ Guns. Almost feels like he has to choose. Do I make Organ Guns or do I make Bombard Cannons right now? Also, Andy, if he needs gold, can just sell off his food and wood and have tons of gold. Like, I don't actually think gold is that big of a concern for Andy right now. Not with the way he's macroed this. Could be wrong. And I have been wrong many times when the Portuguese are involved. Andy trying to pressure without throwing all of his army away. Trying to be as patient as possible here. And that's a good engagement. That's a really nice engagement. He has to continue to bait the Halbs forward into the skirms and Mamelukes, I think. And be patient with the bomber cannons if he can. Might even be worth it to take that monastery down. Lyrey's population on screen is high, but his actual population is 40 population below that 180 right now. Andy, oh god. Oh my god, the micro there was sick. Gonna lose a lot of skirms though. His Hussars were completely out of position. Andy probably trying to deal with some raids in his base. Liry actually had some raids going on back here. There's also a couple like have here. Nice shot from Liry. What a freaking game! And bomber cannons get sniped. Liry? Guys, this is make it or break it for Liry, I think. Like, I know it's Liry, and he's the favorite coming into the day and everything, but if you lose the first 3 games, it's going to be really tough to come back, right? You have to figure that Andy's going to be able to snag at least one more. Liry needs this right now. He's lost 213 vills, but he's still alive somehow. He's going to snipe that trap. Castles stay up now for Liry, which means he could maybe still stay, you know, still defend his position. And Andy took some real heavy eco losses the last few moments. There's a lot of farms that don't have workers anymore. He has to reboom. He can't push anymore. As weird as it sounds, I just really think Andy just needs to keep sending in Hussars. As bad as it looks, I actually think in some ways he maybe has been a little too patient at times. Again, I'm probably being a little overly critical with my statement there, but there's still opportunities, right? The Halbs can't be everywhere. You just got to keep doing this. And then hope that Liry can't push. And Liry can't push when he has to focus on this. Because if he looks away for a second, his Halbs go too far forward and they die to skirms and Mamelukes. Even if you're just killing 5 villagers each raid for every 50 Hussars you lose, it's worth it in my opinion. And we're seeing that now. He's split up to a lot of different spots here, Andy. And he'll lose these Hussars, but he's in a position to make more, in theory. I love how Liry's getting counter rates, though. That's really good. What a game. All right, chat. Put it on record, because the population's even. Who wins this game? Pick one. You've got a 50-50 shot. The game, probably 50-50 as well, with 2 Fatorias behind this for Liry. Who wins? I'm seeing a lot of Liry and Andy votes here. It seems like it's fairly 50-50. The viewers win. We know that. I mean, I guess, like, so obviously you guys could tell that I have felt as though FreakinAndy's in the better position for a long time, right? I still think he's in the better position. I really do. But if Liry can actually get up to 25-30 organ guns and 5 bomber cannons again, that changes. So Andy needs to pressure before his opponent has too much time. Oh, God. Oh, God. The Hussars dive deep. Villagers are going to be slaughtered everywhere. What is this? Like 100 Hussars engage on the only wood economy Liry has. Liry's down to 38 vills. And you'll notice Liry cannot push now. He feels he has to come over here and deal with this. There's a Treb. There's an Onager. There's some cannons to maybe push this castle. It does maybe feel like, though, that this castle might stay up if Liry comes over here. But what a great job from Andy to just reposition. He's like, I'm not going to fight you where you're expecting me anymore. I'm sick of that. Liry has 90 armies still. The army is just insane from him. And the bomber cannon from Andy goes down. So that should mean that the Treb could go down for him. Hussars from Andy try and engage to snipe the bomber cannons. At least if you get one, it's something. It does get one. Mamelukes, Mamelukes, Mamelukes. Gonna get 2. Gonna try and get 3. A lot of Mamelukes went down there, but that was all to buy time for these Trebs on the other side. Still cannons here for Liry, though. And Liry still has really strong army numbers. What is happening, man? What is happening? Is Liry gonna win this game? Guys, remember when they nerfed organ guns? that was a funny nerf. This unit has been insane. It has been insane. Oh man. Okay, guys, this is finally the position where I am on Team Liry. It's finally happened. I think any amount of gold that Andy could possibly get from selling is not going to give him the type of unit he needs. Liry still has bomber cannons to push castles. The Haboob organ gun is absolutely insane. There's still 2 Fatorias bringing in resources for him, so he won't run out of gold. I think Liry's position is maybe superior now. Whereas this whole time, I always thought Andy was in the better position. Andy's going to kill more vills here. Just streaming hussars into that wood line. But this is getting really awkward for Andy economically as well. You could see lots of vills moving around. That's probably him fixing idols. Oh, there's stone back there. Andy's going to try and raid again. I wonder if you could use hussars to take out a Fatoria. They're fairly low HP. He's going to try and raid. And just pull his opponent out of position here. Here go the hussars. I think it might actually be worth attacking that Fatoria. Probably not, because Habs will arrive, but if you can manage it, attack a little bit right now, and then come back later. I don't know. It's such an awkward position as a player. Here, Andy will lose vills. It's not like Andy has 150 vills, guys. He's at 100. And Liry trying to deal with raids, so he's being patient here. He's down to 44 vills. Andy has almost killed 300 villagers from Liry this game. Still might lose. What a crazy stat that is. Oh, there's still gold here. That's interesting. Okay. So that's where the 754 gold is. Liry still producing more vills after he loses some. Needs to push this castle, in my opinion. And FreakinAndy, he did what I was waiting for. Like, raid, and then you just mass more hussars in the position to deal with this army again. It's really good. Andy has really stepped it up with the raids, but I just don't know. Is it going to be enough? Is that enough from him? Liry clearly expected that the hussars were going to dive through. The hussars dive in. Most of them are going to die, guys. But if they snipe the bomber cannons, it might be worth it. Andy's going to snipe 2 bombard cannons of the 4. I think there was 4. But God, how many men have to die for this? How many men have to die? Come on, get the elders and let's just agree for peace and harmony here, people. You guys are both low on gold. You can set up markets and you can trade and you can live peacefully, okay? This war has gone too damn far. Come on. Jeez, think of the kids. Think of the next generations here. If there is going to be a next generation for Liry. Liry's like, I don't need freaking economy. I'll just build this Fatoria. 3 Fatorias now. Oh, man. I mean, with the 3rd Fatoria, it continues my thinking of he might be able to justify making these organ guns forever. Maybe Andy runs out of wood here. Like, that's actually the risk. Andy's lumberjacks are all over here. He can move them, but Liry takes this castle down and this castle down. I think it's over. It just gives him too good of a position. Hussars are in the middle of a really bad situation. And they now move this way. No real action down here for now. Nice dodging there from FreakinAndy, who's had an amazing game here. He really has. He's had an amazing series, guys. We have to hand it to him. He showed up to play today. He's brought a higher level than I thought possible. And, oh, man, that's an amazing volley from him. He kills a couple organs. Also finds a bombard cannon kill. 200 pop for both. 140 working population for Liry. This This game has been unbelievable from him. Unbelievable from Andy. The Austrian showdown. And another bomber cannon lost there for Liry. Liry's got to be careful. He will snipe these two bomber cannons with his light cav. But the Hussars, they're able to close in on the organ guns, get a surround on them. There's no Haubs in front. Many of the organ guns will die. That's really good engagement for Andy. I know it looks bad because he lost so many units, but that's as good as an engagement as you're really going to get based on what we've seen here. Organ gun count now down to 11 for Liry, but he's still got 33 Haubs. He still has 3 Fatorias, and we'll see what Andy's going to do. Andy's trying to run units through here right now. All right, well, hey, listen. I'm just going to chill for a moment, say thanks everyone for showing up. It's great seeing so many people here. Hope everyone's doing well. I know a lot of you guys are probably lurking right now. But thank you, everybody. Thank you, Emu. Thank you, Nasta. Thank you, Monika. I will have to thank more names in between games, but the amount of subs and resubs that's come in, thank you, guys. Salutes to you. Good to be back in business after a bit of a break. Nothing to get me back in the swing of things with Age of Empires quite like this game, though. It's awesome. Again, when I asked people who was going to win this game like 20 minutes ago, it was 50-50. What do you guys think now? Liry probably thinks he has ballistics. I see people continuing to bring that back up. And it's understandable, because like these castles have already gotten so many kills. Would have helped him so much more if he had that upgrade. Liry up to that 3rd Fatoria. He was on 2 last time I asked the question on who wins this. I mean, Liry's economy is actually looking pretty good. He's got a lot on wood. I think Andy needs to raid that. If Andy sees that, he just needs to get kills there. I'm feeling that Liry's position is better than when I last asked the question, if that means anything. He's got more on wood. He's got another Fatoria. He has a healthy enough villager count. Like, he's got 78 villagers and 3 Fatorias. That is a really good economy. Does lose his bomber cannons yet again, though. He just continues to lose bomber cannons. Oh, man. I agree. I think a couple walls here could be really nice. Would be pretty epic if Andy starts to onager cut the trees so Liry can't get wood. Is that what he's doing? I was joking. He's actually going to onager cut the trees. Let's go. He says, I see you're taking wood here, and I can't necessarily stop you, so I'm going to make sure that there's not a lot of wood remaining. That's epic. I mean, he still has to try and kill the villagers, of course. There's still plenty of wood for Liry to work with, but with how long this game has gone, you've got to think that that could be an important move, especially if he can continue to do it. Hussars are just passing through, though. One more click from Andy. Yeah, gets into a real good spot in the back of the eco. That's good rating. Onager went down, but he's going to make more. Liry still kind of feels like he can't push at the moment. But remember, a big reason he's in this game, the only reason he's in this game is this freaking building here. I say freaking a lot. And I realize I say freaking a lot when I'm casting FreakinAndy. So I don't know if I'm saying freaking more because of Andy or if it's just my normal amount of freaking, you know? I think I say that a lot. I don't know. I'll pay more attention. Well, actually, no, I won't. You guys will have to tell me. Andy kind of getting close to this wood line. That's his target here. Again, his micro with bomber cannons has just been fantastic up against Arquebus. It's crazy. I don't know how he's been able to do it. There may be a difference in how the bomber cannons react if ballistics isn't researched, which of course Liry hasn't had. But I've seen shots where Arquebus has clearly played a role. And we've got supplies coming in here for Liry, so he's thinking about a potential champion switch. I think we're still a long way off from that, though. But clearly a sign that he feels like he needs something more. The thing is, champion would be great. You're a long way away from champion right now if you're Liry. You need to get all the upgrades. He's losing more wood, losing more lumberjacks here as Andy continues to pressure here. A couple raids. raid attempts anyways here from Liry. I don't know if he knows anything about it. They're probably both just looking here. And Andy's done a great job to keep that big ball of skirms and to continue to get kills. 320 villagers killed by him on Liry this game. Oh, and more villagers being found. But, like, Liry has the Fatorias. I would say that 75 villagers for Liry is arguably too much. Like, okay, so 75 vills plus 60 pop space in Fatorias. He doesn't have much army population space. So I think if he loses these vills, it could potentially make his army even stronger. I don't know. Someone asking if FreakinAndy is top 20. This tournament, the main event, is all top 16. So he's definitely, at least with this tourney, in that top 16 conversation. I would say that he's, if I really had to give him a place, I'd say he's close to the, like, 14 to 20 range. And there's maybe a lot of people, like a couple players who didn't make it into the main event, who may see themselves as top 16. I mean, going Cavalier against Saracens is a really risky move. So I like the fact we're not seeing that from Liry. I like the champion choice, just to be clear. I just wonder, can he afford champion? Right now, he's just got two-handed swordsman. Well, I like how... I like this switch to bring in more Mamelukes here for Andy. I also love how he spread out the Hussars here. That's the way to do it. Maybe a key element he was missing in the earlier attacks. Split up the Hussars so the extra bullets from the organ guns don't get as good of a as good value. We have a castle here from Liry just to protect some freaky trees. What is this game, man? What is this game? Guys, I'm going to make a bold statement here. You ready? If Liry wins this game, he wins the series. That's very bold. At least respect the fact that I took a risk. Because Andy could easily be up 3-0 and we could be in game 4 right now. But as a player where things haven't been going your way, if you pull out this win, you're down only one game. You're one of the most accomplished Age 2 players of all time in Liry. I really think Liry wins this game. He wins this series. But of course, I don't know what the draft is. I don't know, you know, they still got to play the damn game. But it wouldn't be the craziest thought ever. And I still don't know who's won. Like, this is the... We are seeing the strong thing about Fatorias, but the weak aspect of Fatorias. Because it's like, okay, you have enough gold long-term, sure. But then you also don't have the population to push. And as strong as the organ guns and the Habs have been as well, I think we're also seeing the weakness of the units because they're just so slow. And they have to stay in one spot. And Liry just doesn't have the food to be able to get the champion upgrade and also make units at the same time, which was kind of the concern. I think it was a good thing to try and go for champion, though. Maybe. Andy, I think, might try and shift his focus down towards this castle. Are they just going to camp wood now? Is it King of the Hill where they just camp the middle? Villagers getting slaughtered. Andy needs to pull away. This becomes a game of trees. We have 116,000 wood remaining, which seems like a lot, but when it's all in the similar, like, basically the same spots, might not be that much. I want to see. There's still trees back here. Like, players should be trying to take those wood lines. Liry pretty much did already, by the way. So I guess if it gets really bad, you could send villagers there. But you want to take the wood that's in the middle first, probably. Here goes Liry trying to raid again with a couple light cav. I think clearly Andy has spotted that. And Andy's Hussars probably wondering where the organ guns are. And he just found out the organ guns are here now. I need to drink my coffee. This coffee's been sitting here for a while. Normally I drink the coffee in between games. Bombard cannons still over here for Liry. But bombard cannons arrive here for Andy. to push this position. He did lose the onager as he was trying to take out the trees. And the bombard cannons are very weak. Very weak here for Liry. But he is Arquebus. And he's got the champion upgrade on the way. And he's got plenty of organs here. I think this castle stands for Liry. There's no way he loses this castle. No way. No way, Andy. No way you can out-micro this. Halbs are still doing a really decent job against the skirms as well, I should add. Skirms might kill off Halbs fairly quickly, but... as I say that, the Halbs are gone, but I still feel like that was maybe a reasonable engagement for Liry. Still no real map control for Liry, right? Like, it's a core concern for him. And these 25 organs... I don't know, like... I feel like he should be engaging with them a little bit more frequently. I feel like this should be a fight that he should win. But... I can understand that maybe he feels like it's a risk to engage with them if he doesn't have the Halbs anymore. I just haven't seen a situation where I've really felt the organ guns are bad this game. And, oh man, maybe it was all a bait. Andy, after seeing how hesitant Liry was, probably felt like he could build a castle here and he could push this. But I think this castle is going to be denied. And I think this game is going to be Liry's. Oh, no, Andy. Oh, this is so rough for him. He can't stop the organs. This ball of organs is just too good. It is a doubt castle. The castle will sit there at 60%. I don't think there's any easy way to engage against this. The organ guns, when clumped up, are too good. Especially when there's a meat shield in front. Liry has brought this game back from the dead. I would argue should have been dead earlier in this game. But he didn't quit. He just held on. And now, I mean, he's got 43 on food, plus Fatorias. He's got 2 relics, plus 3 Fatorias. He's got stone income coming from Fatorias. He snipes the bombard cannon, and he's in trouble. Something I love that Liry did consistently in all of post-imp was continue to produce villagers. That just so good. Like, it's so easy to forget about your eco and to not still focus on that when you have the Fatorias. He also has been very patient. At times, you know, maybe if you thought he was going to lose the game, you could say he was too patient, which is kind of my feeling on the matter, but I mean, these 3 castles that he's had have been standing for so long. And now he has the middle area. And now, in order to get trees, Andy's going to be somewhere else, but I don't really know where he is right now for those trees. He needs wood so he can make skirms, and he needs wood so he can seed farms to make more hussars. And all the units he's making, skirms and hussar, just not good enough. To kill 350 villagers and still lose the game is gonna hurt if you're Andy. Obviously, still gonna be up 2-1. Has been an amazing series. And it's early in Warlords 3, friends. But maybe one of the best sets of the round of 16. I mean, you look at some of the sets and you do have this feeling of this player's favorite versus maybe an underdog when you look at the bracket. But the game ends, guys. And look at this. Look at the top 3 created units here. And tell me how effective you think those 160 organ guns were. I really wish I could grab those 160 organs and know how many kills those organ guns had. What a game from Liry. It is 2-1 now. What a game from Andy as well, I have to say. Now, because Andy lost, I will say that there was a lot of potential here, I felt, to kill off Liry before the Fatorias came up. I wouldn't even be surprised if we look at res collected. I don't even think Liry had more gold collected this game. Can we check this? Yeah, like, think about it. Andy had 3 corners of the map. He had more gold piles available. He had more stone available. Even with the Fatoria income, it was still Andy coming out on top with every single resource. I think a great deal of this game came down to how effective the organ guns and the bomber cannons were for Liry and how much value he got in attacks. We know he didn't have as much army, but he had more effective engagements. And also, if I can still use this, look at the resources destroyed at the bottom left. Now, a lot of that's probably Hussar, right? But, I mean, I wish I had a stat on how many bombard cannons FreakinAndy lost. He lost so many bombard cannons to Liry's bombard cannons. throughout this game. It was a really good play from him. And yeah, I mean, they got more games to play, right? This is the best of 7 here in Warlords 3. So I hope everyone's been enjoying 99% of the map explored from both of them, which is very much a stat that's not important, but I thought was still relevant to point out. And 449 total villagers from Liry throughout that game. In a 200 population game. I mean, even Andy had 311 total villagers. Love that stat. So where did it go wrong for Andy? Well, I think Liry played like a beast. I think there was potential in the north when he was still being so patient in the south. I think he was patient because he thought he could never lose. And, you know, maybe sometimes when you have the lead, you don't want to take some risks. But certainly felt like the risk was worth taking in the north. There's just so much potential. I have to go so far back, but like, was it this stage of the game? Like right here, guys. Like when he's got this. If you go like 5 siege rams and push this area. I know I hadn't mentioned siege ram in a long time. 5 siege rams, this castle's dead. If this castle's dead, that's one castle your opponent can't make organ guns out of. There was no Fatorias at this stage. Really feels like the fact that this castle stood this whole game is probably the issue for Andy, in my opinion. So game number 4, and my bold statement in game number 3 was that if Liry won that game, he was going to win the series. Let's see what happens here. Remember, 9 villager start here in Warlords. And migration is the name of the map. We've got Byzantines here for FreakinAndy. Oh, we've got the Italians for Liry. I've always felt like Liry is really good on migration. Normally, I wouldn't associate him as a player who's super good on water maps. I think in Hidden Cup, he played really well on the islands, right? And I recall from Titans League, he played pretty good on migration. And Italians, I've always felt like one of the best civs for this. So there's 2 factors that I think change the meta here when compared to Titans League. First one is the fact it's a 9 villager start. I think faster feudal builds have more potential in general in a 9 villager start than like say a Dark Age start. Basically, you don't have as much time for fishing ships to pay off in a 9 villager start, which means fast castle is a little bit more risky. The other factor is the shape of the island here. So I actually cannot confirm this, but I'm 95% certain is basically the map is actually a little bit smaller than previous versions of migration. The reason for this is some maps, some water maps, guys, have always been size 3 maps instead of size 2. That was, I assume, a conscious choice from the devs. But anyways, I believe that was changed in the Warlords version, meaning that there is less land in the middle. Does that make sense? If the map is a little bit smaller, there's less land to have the same amount of water, right? So, a build that is very likely, I would say, because of A, the 9 villager start, and B, the tinier map, is the forward dock strategy. And so, like, if I'm Byzantines, I'm just thinking this whole time about how Italians have the cheaper uptimes, they have the cheaper fishing ships, they have the cheaper dock techs. All those things are just Italians. Byzantines have the stronger fires. So you want an engagement with your fires as quickly as humanly possible. And sometimes that forward dock strategy is the way to do it. So that is a thought here. That was what I was thinking could be a possibility. Liry's going up to feudal age right now. Now, I remember a game. It was actually Liry against Viper. I do not remember the tournament. I remember I was biking, chugging an energy drink when I had it up on my TV. That gives you no info whatsoever. But it was like, it was migration. It was Byzantines for Viper. It was Italians for Liry. Liry was north, west of the map. Wait, no. Was Viper there? Which side was Viper? Anyways, does anyone have any clues when they played each other in migration last? I was hoping someone would say something. Anyways, Liry was up against Byzantines. He didn't expect the forward dock from Viper. And so he basically got surprised by it. And so the reason I bring this up is because my initial impression of this strategy from Liry is that he may be expecting this from Andy. So he's not going to attempt a fast castle for that reason. Sounded like Grandpa trying to retell a story he forgot. Yeah, well, I didn't forget that you're being mean to me. Won't forget that one. Sorry, that's true. That was a very Grandpa moment for me. Okay, so Andy's going to see his opponents in feudal, and he might be like, oof. This could be bad for me, but he's already committed to a transport ship. He's already committed to being here. Liry is going for galleys. And I'm curious how he chooses to position these galleys. I actually think the best possible thing here for Liry is for these two galleys to go forward. Because Andy is not going to have the easiest time defending these fish. Well, actually, that's not true, because by the time the galleys get over there, there's going to be a fire galley here. Well, I suppose that's what makes the forward dock so difficult to defend from, right? Is because you never really know how much you need to commit to one area. Warlords 2, Viper beat Liry on migration. Oh, was it Warlords? I find it hard to believe I wasn't casting that if it was Warlords. But, yeah, it's possible I didn't cast that series for whatever reason. You see, normally, I am choosing to nerd out and cast Age of Empires over Exercise. So I was thinking maybe it was a smaller event, but maybe if it was a group stage, I could have been looking for a little bit more time to relax. So Liry sends 2 galleys forward. He does not know there's forward docks on him. He might expect it, though, because he's been awfully quiet. And there goes Andy. Andy actually attacks the scout, and that is an amazing warning for Liry. And now he has an idea. Now, Andy sent his fire forward from his defensive dock, and now the galleys are here. And the galleys could kill the transport. The transport's actually not the biggest deal. It's actually the fishing eco that's the biggest deal. So both players have had a unit which is actually rather insignificant to them attacked first by the opponent's navy. Here, the transport ship. And then the scout on Liry's side kind of gave him a heads up. Liry already has fletching. I do feel like if Liry, of all people, is able to get like 6 to 8 galleys with fletching, even Byzantine fires could struggle. But he is microing the other side right now. He's trying to micro this. Almost loses a ship there. And he did relocate his fishing ships here. He's actually going to squeeze in another fishing ship. And already has that market, which is to be expected of a player like Andy. He really wants to push the timings here. I think he recognizes that it's going to be really tough for him to push these galleys now until Castle Age. And galleys from Liry just going to come back over, looking for the weak ship. Andy's already repairing the ship. Really close game so far. I think both players are going to be in Castle Age at similar times here. All right, so something that I think players need to try a bit more is when you get to this number of galleys, you actually mix in a couple fires. Because you need a meat shield, but you also need a way to destroy these docks faster. Galleys just simply do not destroy docks fast enough. But it's always so tricky, because it's like, why do you never want to make fires when your opponent already has more fires than you. But I do think a couple fires is really good. The reason I wouldn't love demos right now is because demos have to connect with 2 ships to be worth it. Whereas if you make another galley, that's just more damage output that you can use with your awesome micro long term. So I think when the big engagements come, mixing in a demo makes sense, though. For now, Liry's actually leaving his base. Whoa. I think he might just be looking for Andy's ships, to be honest, but Andy's kind of sailed off this way. I wonder if Andy realizes that Liry went this way. He must know that Liry's headed over towards his base right now. Remember, these 2 villagers, the only villagers that Andy has on the mainland. So if he's hoping to town center with those, they need to stay alive. And he doesn't have loom. Huh. Okay, she somehow survives. Don't ask me how. There's enough fires to defend for now. But more galleys coming in from Liry. And yeah, Liry's got plenty of time here. This is going to be great for him. This puts a lot of pressure on Andy to end up killing the fishing ships from Liry and stopping Liry from transporting here. Liry will kill all the fish, but now Liry needs to defend his own fish. Both players in castle. Both players going to get war galley here. But a nice move from Liry. Look at him come back home, though. He's like, okay, I've done enough. I need to come home. Is he paying attention here, though? Oh, man, the micro from Andy wasn't half bad. Also, the war galley upgrade will come in from Andy a bit faster. The transport! The fact that Liry just was able to sneak out here was huge. So Liry's going to be on the mainlands now. Not sure if Andy knows about that. Andy would lose both of these villagers to the scout from Liry if Liry were to find that and attack. There's actually no loom for Liry, though. So now Andy's attacking. Liry notices this. Will bring his scout over. Should still be fine to get a TC up. But the, the fire galleys are surrounding him now. Fishing ships are hiding. He's only got 5 of them. Ooh, scout. Goes down there for Liry. A lot is happening right now, guys. But again, there's no fishing ships for Andy. There still could be some fishing eco for Liry, which could be the difference between the two. But this is really close. I like this. Hiding the fishing ships here is really smart. Is Andy looking for that? Is Andy checking? Andy finds them. That's just sick. Because he knows they're out there, right? He's like, okay, he should have fish. I haven't killed all of them yet. To recognize that and to search the corner there is really smart. Liry has 9 war galleys with Bodkin. It's not really the biggest mass, but it is still something he can use in combination with his fires. And TC completes here for Andy. TC completes here for Liry. Both players are going to add a monastery as well. And a couple ships going down here or there. Pretty close game, but I think Liry's position is stronger. Oh, man. The reason I reacted like that is because of game number 3. Because I'm just worried that, like, that enclosed game is going to be the game that we just think back to as where it all slipped away for Andy. He was up 2-0. He played amazing. He had such a big lead in game 3, eventually lost it. And now you have to fight those feelings. You have to fight those thoughts here in Andy's position. Now, Andy knows that his opponent has a TC here. His scout was over there. And his opponent doesn't have a scout. So he's TC'd the stone. He's still mining the stone. I think we might see a castle drop eventually. Liry's going to add a barracks, though. He's going to have monks, so maybe spearman monk from him as he just dominates the water. And if he dominates the water, he can have fish. And even just like 5, 6, 7 fishing ships can still help you get enough of the lead to feel like you're in a good position long term here. Yeah, look at the relic generation. Listen, I don't know how many people here watch community games because people watch different things. But if you show up on Friday community games and you say my community games are rigged, you should be using the rigged emote right now. Relic. Relic. There was a relic here. Relic. All the relics are on Andy's side of this island. So that's going to be 5 free relics basically for Andy. And that could help him out a lot. Also, he's adding fishing ships. Enough where I think he could probably get away with it. He is going to have to defend his fish. He's going to try his best to repair right now. His forward docks have gone down. Is repairing, is getting careening. And it's good micro here, Andy, just to keep his fishing ships alive. But that might change. Liry's done a great job. Well, Liry just has so much more on water right now. And now Liry's going to come forward, see the monastery. I think Liry will have learned his lesson. Liry? Huh. Oh, man, that could have been so much worse for him. I think Liry might go atonement right away. Because if you're up against Andy, Andy loves to convert monks. Well, he's actually adding scouts. That's really smart. That's also one thing you can do. As we were looking at that, it looked like a couple fishing ships got sniped down here. 5 relics for Andy. Andy saw the monks. Andy goes atonement. Kind of felt like that was going to be the case, right? Look what Liry's been doing, guys. Liry... Wait, where has he been going for stone? Oh, okay. He had stone underneath his TC as well. So Liry also has been heavy on stone. Feels like this is building up towards a castle drop from Liry right on this hill. Yeah, it's true that Andy, this isn't really like Andy's side per se, and that Andy chose to build up here. I do think the relics should be more evenly distributed though. So it's definitely not an intended aspect of the map. Oh man, here come the Vils. Oh man, does he have Loom now? He does have Loom. There's enough monks out there to convert these scouts, or to convert the enemy monks. This gets dicey. Especially when those monks have been converting for a long time. You could tell Liry just kind of shifted into thinking, maybe I don't build that castle. Seems like he's waiting for Atonement, waiting for Light Cav, and then he'll choose to do it. Because he didn't build it anywhere else. The monks are still following, though. The monks get one conversion. Monks end up getting enough conversions where things are looking better here for Andy, and I know as a caster, we talk about the moment. We talk about game 3 and how FreakinAndy could be up 3-0 right now and how that could, turn around on him. But you can easily forget about that game 3 if you get the win right here and turn this one around. 28 to 28 KD. He's going to drop an outpost there, and he's about to have the stone for a castle as well. Then Byzantines have the cheaper Imperial Age. Both civs actually have a discounted age up. But cheaper imp could go a long way. Stronger castles could go a long way. Castles on the way up with a couple Vils. More Vils are on the way. More Light Cav are on the way. There are spearmen here. The Light Cav go for the monks. The scouts go for monks. Monks go for monks. Villagers are trying to get through. They're like, let me in. Oh no, Liry. He can't build, guys. He can't build it. There's too many things here. And oh man, Andy's clawing his way back into this series. Let's go. This is sick. I think from here, you just stall production of all your Vils. Yeah, he just canceled 10 Vils. He had 10 Vils in queue. There you go. So he completes the castle. He clicks up to imp. He does still have fires out as well, right? It's not like he gave up on water. He actually is finding some good engagements on water. And now it's Byzantines who can make Dramans. Byzantines who could make Trebs from this strong castle. All up to the Imperial Age faster. And it's really looking problematic now for Liry. When it felt like he was faster to the monks. He added the scouts. It really felt like he could have been the one dropping the castle himself. But Andy and his monks, man. Like, he always has enough monks to make it uncomfortable for the opponent. I love this from Andy. The fact that he's now going to redock the front. And now this becomes difficult for Liry because he has to win a Treb War somehow. And he also has to continue to produce on water. Still obviously has the potential to do both. But things are very cramped over here, right? Very cramped. It's not like Liry can easily expand. He does have access to resources, but expanding is going to be the tricky thing. So, small thing here for Andy. I think your Trebuchet needs to sit on the hill. I mentioned that because of the castle position. I'll show you here in a second. If you get the Treb on the hill, that is so much more effective. You cannot have your Treb sitting on the flat ground here. You should know that. But you already have the edge with the strength of castles and the Treb timing. If you also have a hill, it could be so incredibly strong. I think on water, he's kind of doing everything he needs to. He's got 11 fires. He actually has the superior water situation. Some of the fires aren't over there yet, but they will be. And the War Galley upgrade hasn't paid off at all. Guys, Andy is playing exceptional. Again, normal players let that game 3 live in their head. But Andy has been so consistent today. It's been so good. Really happy for the guy, too. I know, like, qualifying for Warlords was a big deal for him. After not qualifying for Hidden Cup, he was really disappointed he didn't make it into the Hidden Cup main event. Ended up running into Sebastian, if you remember, in that qualifier in the early rounds, which was an unfortunate early matchup. But, like, to beat Liry of all people here would be such a statement. Maybe his best result? Beating Liry in a best of 7 in an S tier would probably be his best result. I know he had that series win against Hera in Titans League, but that was a play all 3. The stakes weren't quite as high. We might be getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but, you know, there's fast fires that are coming in from Byzantines. Just going to completely destroy water here. There's no way for Liry to hold water against this. And so for Liry, it has to be lands now. And you guys are going to love what Andy's going to do with this. I don't know if he's making Dramans from this side yet. But essentially, with full water dominance, if he walls this choke point, he could have Dramans on both sides of the water. And he can kill all the crossbows and all the monks. That'd actually be incredible. Look at this. So he just sits with Dramans here. And Dramans are insanely strong. And they outrange every other thing out there that Liry has. I think Liry is going to try to transport on this side to try and do something different. But Dramans are going after the castle. The castle will almost certainly go down here for Liry. And now Andy is going to see that Liry has army over on this side. And he's going to know he needs to make navy here. The Dramans will go for the Treb. Liry can't protect the Treb anymore. Treb is surely going to go down. He can't make a Treb anymore because he doesn't have a castle. His villagers are all exposed. And Liry's going to try and transport. Oh, God. Andy, you need a castle on your islands, man. Oh, this is going to be crazy. Go, 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 go. Make it quick, make it quick, make it quick, Liry. Go. Oh, this is funny. Well, yeah, I think you might need to instantly drop a castle. Just like, yeah, drop a castle. You're going to lose some vills, but you just need something there. And, dude, don't tell me Liry's going to bring the Treb as well. If Liry brings the Treb, no way, dude. This is going to get crazy. I mean, basically, everything Liry has is rangeable by Dramans. But the Dramans aren't here yet. I don't know where Liry's going with this transport. Exactly. But maybe coming here would have done something. He's going to loop around. He could find some Vill kills there. He's also trying to sneak a TC up here. I don't know how he got Vills here. Must have been a desperation transport. All of this is very desperate for him. The TC will actually get destroyed. Here, there's still more Vills. And here, there's still crossbows. Guys, this has gotten extremely messy. The idle time is extremely high for both of them right now. I think you still have to favor Andy's position. And Andy is not only going to try and convert the crossbows, he actually converts the transport. So now Liry can't flee. He brings his monks over. Here he advances forward with his Trebs. Here he does still have some Dramans. Boom. Oh, no way. Okay, monks are getting extremely close to converting here. The attack round from Andy's killing it, though. Andy's going to win this game. Andy has played this game amazing. He has played the best series I've ever seen him play so far today. And if he could just clean up some of these little side raids, he's going to be up 3-1 over Liry. He did not let that crazy game 3 live in his head. His approach here in early feudal age was solid, but he's just so consistent. Like, so many times when you have an underdog, they have to win with the early pressure. Andy has not needed early pressure against Liry today. It's like, so many times he does something in feudal, but not a lot, and then in castle and imp, he finishes the game. That is what the best players in the game typically do. His approach has been phenomenal. Finally, this will be cleared up. And here he's just... You know, I mean, he can use monks. He can use trebs to take the bombard cannons. Liry's going to be annoyed by this, but he's going to eventually lose those cannons to that treb. Just right now, he's still like, really focused on this. And he loses one of his cannons. Here, he's probably going to lose another cannon, and the GG's called. What a great play from Andy. Andy's up 3-1 over Liry. And now Liry would need to play, need to win 3 games in a row, which normally... If I were to have asked you before the series, can Liry win 3 games in a row against FreakinAndy? A lot of people would have said, of course. Of course he can. Because, you know, I think Liry's going to win 4-1 or something like that. But now, after seeing how good FreakinAndy's playing, I think it's going to be tough. Even for a player like Liry, who's done so well in Age of Empires over his career. Favorite part about this game from Andy, and the most critical point in the game, was his recognition that his opponent was going monks, and just adding some spears, and adding his own monks. He essentially protected his monks enough from the scout play from Liry, and researched Atonement, and had enough monks to convert Liry's monks over to his side. It essentially came down to the castle drop. Now, of course, there were other aspects, like not completely losing water. But for a while here, I'm looking at this thinking Liry is the better position. But a couple minutes later, that changes because of Andy's conversions and the light cap from Liry really never offering enough. That, but also being the first to drop a castle here. But remember, top right, Liry had enough for a castle. Liry just was so scared of the monks that he backed off, he researched devotion, he got light cav, and then he didn't get the castle timing. So, honestly, like, thinking about it, I don't really know if Andy can ever deny Liry's castle if Liry just places it. Like, there's no army for Andy. There's just monks. He could convert a couple vills, but I actually think Liry's castle goes down. It's kind of funny, but Liry adding his own scouts is maybe what scared him off, because then if the scouts get converted, then suddenly there's army to kill the vills. But like right now, there's 3 monks and a scout for Andy, and that is not enough to deny this castle. Still, though, Liry had reasons to be afraid, and that fear is essentially what gave Andy the position. GG. Here's the res collected as well. I mean, his macro has been really smooth. Did use the market a lot more this game, did mine a lot more golden stone, did also have the better map gen with the relics, but good series so far for FreakinAndy. And here we are. I'm going to change the colors yet again. Liry has changed his colors 4 times throughout this series anyways. And oh my freaking god. Okay. Well, I'm not sure how you're going to view this. I know you guys are going to love this. But these players, they might not love the fact they are basically right next to each other. And not only right next to each other with TCs, they're also right next to each other with docks. So I think what we could do is we could just forget about all the rest of this, okay? We just focus here. This is not an admin re or anything along those lines either, by the way. This is a gen that is perfectly normal for Nomad. And it is, of course, made worse by the fact that this is a 9 villager start for these guys, so it starts awfully quick. So Koreans, I would normally say, are going to want to avoid docks being close to the other player because they can't make demos. So that's one thought. If this does become a water war, advantage to Liry if the docks are close by and they know that, which Liry does. But Koreans can benefit from being really close to the enemy if it's a castle drop or tower situation. Now, I think Liry's situation is fantastic for everything except for gold. Liry's best gold was supposed to be there. And I mean, he can try it, but I wouldn't suggest he do so because it's directly underneath Andy's TC. But you know what Liry could possibly do, what Liry does have control over, is the stone. So he could go for a castle drop, and then if he wants to take this gold, he could do so after dropping a castle directly on Andy's face. But if you castle drop... What the... Huh? Liry's building a lumber camp? And he's building it there? What? Well, I don't love that idea from Liry. I'm very surprised he's doing that. He also doesn't have loom. So now he's being attacked by Andy. It could lose some villagers. He builds the lumber camp, and now the lumber camp's walled in. Okay, well, hey, you can still get double bid axe, guys. You could still get double bid axe. It's fine. I don't know if Liry needs a lumber camp right now, but that was a little bit weird. But what was I saying? Oh, so Liry going fast castle could be really risky because he might feel like he wants to kill the fish. Also, I'm not exactly sure if Andy knows that his opponent's dock is here. I know Liry knows that Andy is here. So lots of things happening. Andy did a good job getting boars. Korean villagers do have a lot of line of sight. So I think he snagged one more boar than Liry. And Liry pretty much has no choice. He's going to go fast feudal. He's going to have to try and kill fish. But how can he take fish if he can't take gold? He has to get the gold somehow. And he's going to head over here to this gold. Wow, this becomes interesting because this villager will eventually finish that fish and go somewhere. And she's got a lot of vision. Also, I think the deer may move from time to time, which could give Andy an idea. Like, watch. That deer might go back to the left. Still not doing so. Oh, that mining camp is so pro, guys. I'm not kidding when I say that placing the mining camp where you don't disrupt the deer is actually next level. I think it's really important. Andy brings in yet another boar. And Liry, he doesn't have that luxury. He's going to start to outpost around, but I believe that Andy spotted that villager. Now, Andy might even be thinking that his opponent can't take gold right now, so he should be checking. It still, to me, seems like he's scouting the shorelines for docks, so he definitely doesn't know that Liry's going to be going for fire galleys here. Liry getting to this gold, Liry being directly next to FreakinAndy's fish is amazing for him. So we're going to see a tower here from Liry. And quick walls are going to be needed. I don't know if I have my boxing villager mod on. I don't think I do today, but you guys have the emotes if you want that stuff. So that tower is, I guess, meant to deny the golds. And yes, Liry did use the secret lumber camp to research double bidax. So at least the villagers are chopping more efficiently. So this will continue. The fire galley attack on the fish will start. Andy will have loved everything in this game so far except for this. Seeing this is going to hurt. Where does the Vil go? Ah, okay, so now he knows. So now he knows. If he didn't know before, he should have an idea that that is where Liry is taking gold. Another dock here from Liry as well, so he's pretty much just going to completely surround his opponent's fish. Now, Liry knows there's the barracks, and he knows there's a range. God, he... he can see everything here. And I think he expects to lose gold soon. So, so we're going to see... Oh, God. We're going to see a lot of different things. We got the Vils being chased here. We're going to have a tower from Andy here. We have Andy trying to rush down this tower with villagers and skirmishers. I don't think that'll work. I think Liry will probably end up in the better there. Yeah, so Liry should... He's built enough walls where this is probably fine, right? Because he could just attack with some Vils, and then the tower still shoots arrows. Guys. We have another lumber camp from Liry. I was just going to say, how does he get wood? Okay. Keep in mind, Liry still has fish, so that is his food income. But Andy's been able to keep some of his fish alive. That might be important later, but for now, he's not able to do anything with it. And now this tower... Ooh, this tower gets pushed down. Andy's going to go to stone, but he doesn't have enough stone for another tower yet. And it is spears and it is skirms for Andy on land where Liry has nothing. This could have, many people would say maybe even should have been a 4-0 already for Andy. He was so close to winning game number 3. And now he's going YOLO here to win game number 5. And we've just got a tower fest here. What is this madness? This is Nomad, baby. This is close start Nomad. Let's go. Vils are going to die. I just don't know how many. Will the towers stay up? That tower doesn't. Oh, man. The boxing villager mod is on. Andy, are you serious, Andy? Is he actually winning this battle? The skirms are killing Vils. Liry's out of wood. Liry's out of stone. Liry has nothing, guys. Liry has nothing. He's got those fishing ships, but he can't take resources right now. I mean, to be fair, maybe Andy can't either. Andy also doesn't have food income. Wait a second. Andy has nothing on food. A Vil War should be better for Liry if Andy has nothing on food. It's something I just had to remind myself of. This is horrible for both players. Poverty meets poverty. But Liry is winning? Question mark? Resources collected will be higher for Liry. A lot of weak villagers here for Andy. And things slow down a little bit. And Andy's probably realizing I've had nothing on food for like 5 minutes. I can't produce vills. This is horrible for me. But he does not seem to care. But I imagine he doesn't seem to be scared either. Man, if only he had archers. Like, it's actually easier for him to make archers right now because he only has wood and gold. He doesn't have food. If he had, like, 5 archers instead of 5 skirms, this might have been GG. But now Liry has the time, well, kind of has the time, to figure some things out here. Runs into the TC, and we've got a tower here from Andy. He just wants to deny wood from Liry. He feels as though he's got Liry trapped right now, basically. And these villagers are not... They're very much used to this, so they don't really care. They'll come rush this down, too, if they need to. What a messy game. Liry's in the better position because of the fish. Liry's got a 15 eco lead. And so he just batters down some of the vills, hops into the tower when he can think of it. I think we're going to see a game 6, guys. Liry has gold. He has food. He has stone. He has wood. It's a little sloppy, right? Like running into the town center, but that can happen in these types of games. He won't know that Andy doesn't have any other sources of food, right? Like Andy could be on berries in theory or deer. Plus the fishing ships are actually still out there somewhere. I don't even know. Oh, they're fishing over here. Okay. So Andy has been fishing. My bad. He must have been fishing a great deal of time there. But it still feels natural for Liry to go for a market soon. Maybe buy some food and head towards Castle Age. Skirm's still being active. Still wondering, why no archers? Look how weak these vills are. If this gets into like a guard tower or siege push situation, these guys have so many weak vills. Just want to show the vill HP. Look at the bottom left. It's a good thing that villagers aren't less efficient when they're injured. Because I know I would be. Actually, to any mod makers out there, if that's possible to make it so your eco is less efficient if your villagers are weak, if that is moddable, can someone please make that and contact me? Like, we could call it the realistic villagers mod. I think that'd be so funny. It would actually be amazing, because then it's like, okay, here you have a Vil, but he's basically useless because he's so weak. Yeah, we would ban polls in that tournament. We would definitely ban the polls. Don't worry. God, there's still a chance here for Andy? Again, villager's weak. The lack of archers is wild to me. Tower's probably going to go up. Will it stay up? I don't know. I at least respect the fact that Andy continues to just go crazy here. He continues to still try. I don't think it's going to work. But it's already a bad situation, so he's got to continue to keep it crazy here. I don't know if that's moddable. I don't know if that's doable. But what a great job here from Liry to tower that gold preemptively, to win on water. Ooh, he's actually found some food down here. That's really nice. Wood has been a concern for him, but he can always still chop a few trees over here if this tower goes down. And this tower will most likely go down. Like, Andy can only play this game for so long, where he could repair and garrison. Andy is going to bring in a boar. Has to be careful with all the weak vills here. And Andy's going to quick wall, but Liry's able to take wood. I think the only thing we're missing from Liry now is probably a market. Wood buildings are cheaper for the Malians, which feels great when he struggled to get wood. Villager gets quick walled in. And Villager is now going to be walled in. There we go. All right. And we have another tower from Andy. This looks so funny. This looks so funny. It's smart from Liry because... Oh! He boxed him, and now he re-walls him. It's smart from Liry because you don't want sneak vills to be lingering around your base. Market's up. Blacksmith needs to go up. Food needs to be purchased. And then Castle Age needs to come in. And if Liry doesn't take any significant damage before then, he's still got a really good chance. Yes, historians 2,000 years later are trying to figure out the weird ruins left behind by the Koreans and the Malians. They're not only confused how the Koreans and the Malians ran into each other, they're also very confused by what they were doing here. It'll be a new Netflix series next week. By some guy who claims to have the answers. Again, Liry still has water control. He hasn't really used the fires that efficiently, but I think we can understand that. It's really hard to find this little area, and he's been very distracted. He's done everything else very well. And again, gold is actually the thing that he was maybe going to struggle with the most. And so I think that Liry has to drop a castle here. It will, at the very least, take away that town center from Andy. But then he can also make a Beto, which are a strong enough unit. Liry refuses to go away. Andy has played phenomenal today. It's been awesome. This map gen, the crazy thing about this game, guys, I think if the TCs are close and the docks are far away, it's great for Andy. But the fact that it was TCs close and docks close, and Liry knew about that, ended up being amazing for Liry here. Because he was able to have a fast start solely because of the water. And it was the lack of food for Andy that became a problem there for a minute. Liry now knows that he is water dominant, so he can even add fish, which he's doing. And, oh, he was gonna drop a castle. But there's archers now. And Andy also blocked the foundation with the gate. That's pretty good damage control there from Andy. I think it's game over if the castle would have gone up on his TC. Oh, don't tell me he's going to get a castle on Liry's TC. Oh my god, Liry's got siege, but he's housed. This timing is critical. If he wasn't housed, this castle would never go up. But now? But does he know about the siege workshop? Uh-oh. And these vills are super weak from earlier. Uh-oh. He doesn't know. Call him Scotty, because he doesn't know. Oh, no. If he knew, he could probably pull 5 more vills and maybe complete this. He's thinking he only has to deal with the Gabetto. Uh-oh. Surprise. Actually, it's close enough to the TC where he can probably hop in and out and finish this. It's fine. 51 eco versus 31. But Liry's going to lose his TC. And Andy can expand. Maybe need to play defense with guard towers, but kind of nice he has guard towers in the first place. Fishing eco's over here for Liry, though. Fishing eco's over here. Fishing eco's down here. He's adding fishing ships out of every dock. He's playing this really well. We actually have petards from Andy. Huh. Also killed a villager over here with a couple archers. So I wonder if Andy thinks that Liry is making petards in this castle, but it's actually just Gabettos. I think maybe he thinks it's petard v petard here to try and take the castles out. And there's not much food eco at all here for Andy, so He can't actually make many more petards. I don't think using petards on the TC is actually very helpful. The TC is going to go down anyways. You have a guard tower here from FreakinAndy, who now sees the amount of Gebetto here, knows it wasn't petards from his opponent. But he's trying to take engagement so he can complete the tower, and that's really well done. Completes the tower, so now Liry needs to move around. Liry does have outposts over here. He is dropping a TC here, but he doesn't know that there's a TC there from Andy. Smart from these guys to expand. They realized that the traffic was just too crazy at rush hour, so they're just going to move. Just pick up their stuff and move. Kind of helps when, I guess, you don't have many belongings in your house. I don't know what's in the houses. I know what's outside the houses, and there's not much. Liry's collected 5,000 more resources here. This is not close economically, but if Andy can use towers and war wagons, maybe there's a chance. Soon to be 20 fishing ships for Liry, though. Like, the resources collected is only going to get better for him. And I agree with what people said. I would have liked to see rams here from Liry. It could have been what Andy was expecting when he added the petards, because you can use them against the rams. Feels like the Gebetto are just so mobile and so good against these wagons, though. They do so much damage. And so what you're hoping is that since war wagons only cost wood and gold, that it's more realistic for you to make them. But the opponent has the food eco to make Gebettos. I think if the wagons had bodkin, which again, they do not because of the lack of food, could be a little bit different, but yeah, these units look really good right now. And gives Liry some time to chill, decide on what he wants to do next. He could go imp, but like, I don't know, it just feels so awkward when your TCs aren't close to this. Still wouldn't mind rams. Gebetto are shredding the archers. Gebetto are shredding the wagons. Liry also has a TC up here now. So what is it? 2 TCs for Liry? But they're just not near where he started, which is kind of funny. Still has plenty of Gebetto out and about, though, being active. Look at what Andy had to do. Andy had to sell 200 stone to be able to buy the food to end up getting bodkin arrow for these wagons. But, I mean, the wagons haven't... You know, he could still produce them. The situation hasn't changed. He's still in a situation where he can make them. The wagons now get stronger because of that upgrade. So maybe? I don't know. Sully, thank you for the 53 months. I'm not going to repeat crab 53 times for that, but I'll say it twice. Thank you. Crab. Killer Cow, Amber Casper. Tobeezy, hello. Tobeezy says, this map looks like they chose smallest maps, but got an extension for free. Yeah, these guys are going to be checking their game download to see what happens. If they got the wrong map pack or something. Solero, James, welcome back, guys. Thank you, King Biggie. What's up? See you next month for the 4 years, King Biggie. Hello, T90. How was Alaska? Alaska was great. It was a great time. Very cool weather. Not many people. We went at a time like right before tourist season gets crazy. So it was very chill, very relaxing. Lots of nature. Lots of time away from screens, which was good for me. I mean, I still watched Age of Empires every night. But I mean, it was less time watching Age of Empires, which is always good for balance, you know? Still imbalanced, but more balanced, if you get what I mean. Imp on the way now for Liry. Yeah, so I was wondering what he was going to do with all these resources. And so the goal then is to use this castle to make trebs. So if Andy could treb this castle down, or petard this castle down, and stop this castle, maybe there's a chance. This castle's looking a little awkward here for Liry. He's just choosing to fight with the Gebetto and build with the villagers, and probably feels like Andy can't do both. But he's ballistics now. Wagons are looking pretty good. I'm telling you, man, if Andy could just make a couple more petards, and Treb this. Why do I keep saying Treb? Petard this down? It could get interesting. Because, like, he's already taken off 1,500 HP. I think with 4 petards hitting, which obviously you'd have to make more for them to hit, but I think 4 petards hitting, you might have a chance to take that castle out. Liry could maybe consider a couple monks. He could maybe consider Cavalier, but I think more than anything, he just feels like Treb's changed this game enough for him. And Treb is going to be on the way. And Andy, if he wasn't in a bad situation earlier, he's certainly in a bad situation now. Like 60% right now on this castle, but that will probably complete. T90, my baby is due in a few days and looking forward to watching Warlords 3 in the hospital because babies are basically a Vil without Loom. Best of luck to you, Boom Stereo. I hope everything goes well, man. Also, I'm not a father nor a relationship expert, but I would suggest that you do not have my stream on. Like, don't have the audio on in the midst of your child being born. I have a feeling your partner would not be very pleased with that. Now, I don't know what you guys are into, you know? I don't exactly want to know. But I'm just suggesting maybe you... I'm suggesting that you don't have it on. I'm laughing because someone just said, shh. And I just had the thought that when this kid is born, you just hear the villager creation sound. Shh. Actually, do that, please. I think she'll love it. That'd be so funny. There was a Reddit thread about that. The wife was super mad. I think I do recall seeing that thread. Well, I guess you gotta train your wife at the game first so she understands. And if she understands, it's all good. Here we go! Petards! Petards! Oh! That's rough. FreakinAndy tried. Liry noticed. The castle killed most of the petards. This means the castle will stay up, which means the Trebs continue to Treb. And then the wagons, they're probably gonna go... Well, I'm not actually sure what happens to the wagons. The wagons might slowly kill the Trebs, in all honesty. No, but the Gebetto are on the way. The Gebetto could probably finish the job. Keep the Trebs alive. Everything will go down, and we're gonna have a game 6 here, guys. GG. Wow. Yeah, I mean, Liry did a really good job keeping his economy running throughout the whole Vil War shenanigans, right? I think Andy, he had gold underneath his TC. He had an archery range, and he decided to make skirms. Now, he might have decided to make skirms because Korean skirms are cheaper, and Korean skirms have the armor, and skirms can be good if you think someone's going to go archers. And Liry loves to go archers, but I think he's going to look back at the situation with the Vil Warring and think, if he had archers, it would have been better for him. He would have actually killed Liry's villagers, and then maybe it would have made a little bit more sense to be that aggressive. But oftentimes on Nomad, the player with the better fishing eco ends up winning the game, and that was the case here. At least at this level, that seems to be the case. That and the first player to get a castle drop, which obviously happened once Liry was able to sort out his economy. So again, Andy's played insanely well. I'm a caster that likes to talk a little bit about narratives. The narrative for me after game 3 was that Andy might regret losing that one. Remember, if you would have won game 3, won game 4, it would have been a 4-0. It's now 3-2. Andy's probably well beyond that game number 3 now. He's probably got plans, but Liry's staying alive here. And this series has gone beyond my expectations already. The majority of the people here that were doing predictions before this series as well were not predicting it would be this competitive. And I'm loving it. Let's go. All right. Okay, so welcome. We've got Socotra game number 6. FreakinAndy up 3-2 here. And it's Bohemians, Lithuanians. Now, if you know Socotra, you might be like, huh? Normally, there's rocks and you can't access the water. Well, you can access the water here, only there is basically no reason to because there's no fish out here. There are a couple turtles. I don't know how the turtles got out there. It makes no sense to me. What are they doing? How can they swim there? It looks rather deep, but anyways. I guess we know there's no predators because there's no fish out there. I have never seen anyone dock here, and so I doubt that'll be the case. So it's still just action through the middle. And Liry has a nice little base set up here with some walls so far. I'm expecting fast feudal age. And you can tell there's some laming attempts here from Andy. He wants to maybe kill some of these deer with his Vil. And he's on the way to do that right now. Hard for me to say which civilization is better in this matchup. Between these two, I could see either lots of skirmishers or lots of monks. That is kind of where my brain is at right now. Nice job from Andy. All you want to do is you just want to stop Liry from pushing in a lot of these deer. And now he's going to head home. And we'll see if Liry continues to follow. Because Liry hasn't scouted this yet. But if he continues to scout, he'll know that Andy's deer are actually available here. T90, don't you know Finding Nemo? Those turtles are like that. I love Finding Nemo. I guess I didn't think about that. I haven't watched that movie in a long time. It's actually a movie that I think I'd love to go back and watch. I remember watching Finding Nemo at a drive-in theater when I was like, well, whatever year that came out. I don't actually know. I think I was like 8 or 9 or 10. I don't know. It was a double feature. It was Finding Nemo and it was Bruce Almighty. Oh, and Bruce Almighty is another classic. Very different movie, but if you've never watched Bruce Almighty, highly suggest it. Big fan of that movie. Ooh, okay, Villager could go down here. Scout got the hill there for a second, and Villager goes down. That is huge. Really nice job there from Andy. So it's normally easier for the Lithuanians to get up to the next stage faster here because they start with the extra food in the bank. Liry's being absolute menace to stop Andy from pushing in that deer. Andy can't really do anything about it because his scout is weak. Barracks here for Liry. And yeah, my feeling is skirms and spears make a lot of sense here. It's very rare that you would see men-at-arms, I think, based on how they've at least started this game. And fast spears, fast skirms with the Lithuanians. This is basically, Liry tried this with the Burmese in game number 1. And then he was up against an all-in fast castle build. And he obviously didn't have an answer to that, so. But this type of map, it doesn't seem like we're going to see a castle. Doesn't seem like it's really that crazy. I think this is a good position for Liry, guys. Like, if you think about it, their economies are basically going to be around the same. Liry did lose a villager, but he's had less TC idle time, so I would imagine it's the same. And then he is going to be faster to a little bit of military here. Can someone look up what year those movies came out? Someone said 2003. That makes sense, because I was 10 in 2003, so. Yeah, I'm a big Jim Carrey fan. He's a really good actor. So, if you get the walls down, you can protect some of your eco. But the gold and the berries are still rather exposed here, so not an easy job for Andy. Remember, Andy's scout is weak. So he can't really use that right now. Scout's gonna move. Heads towards the TC. Liry knows what's up, and Liry just backs away. It's kind of like, what do you even do right now? Like, what do you make? The answer is you just have to outmake skirms. You have to outplay the same game. There's, I guess, the play to counter lots of trash would be man-at-arms. But it doesn't feel too natural right now to do so. I think Liry would spot it. Liry could just mix in a couple archers. And suddenly you could have some problems. For now, I think Andy is just going to try and stay alive. Get some walls down to be safe. If he can be safe, then he probably will toss a bunch of Vils on gold and go for the market. Because with the Bohemians, the eco bonus you get excited about is the free mining upgrades. So you don't really want to farm as much with this civ. You actually just want to mine gold and buy the food. Especially on a map like this. Economy for Liry, pretty decent, but he does have a lot of Vils running forward right now. And so Liry must have recognized that there's no stone in Andy's base right now. There's stone available for Liry over here. So I like the idea from Liry. I think this tower could be good. I'm not the biggest fan of the position of the tower because villagers can still attack through the wall. It's stupid that that's the case, but Liry should know that. A villager can still attack that. We do actually have the villagers just attack here, and then the skirms with a bit of a surprise move. Fletching's on the way here for Andy. There's no fletching for Liry. Liry has to be careful not to overextend here. He's losing some skirms. Tower will go up. And obviously then when the tower's up, the tower could shoot the skirmishers, but that's still a lot of villagers attacking this. I think this could be good for Andy. Andy said, you want to skirm more? I'll bring you the skirms. And I'll get the upgrades too, my friend. And that's exactly what he did. Somewhere along the lines, things went a little bit wrong here for Liry. Or maybe he didn't feel like getting fletching was worth it, but he loses the tower. He won't lose the vills. Still, though, just, you know, he's trying to use the speed of his skirms, not necessarily the range. Still no fletching for Liry. And he just falls back home? Like, basically, that's a wasted tower for Liry? And now Andy's on the berries. And Andy's kind of chilling. Kind of chilling. Gonko says, Jim Carrey is just physical comedy, which is for kids. Are you saying there's not a single Jim Carrey movie in your mind which you could enjoy as an adult? I could have missed some of this conversation, but I disagree, man. He's got some great movies. Now, some of them are a bit nostalgic for me, but I think he's got a pretty wide range of roles he can play. By the way, since we're talking about Jim Carrey just for a second, Truman Show is an amazing movie, and I feel like it's very underrated. I think a lot of people have never watched that. So if you've never watched that movie, highly suggested. Nice recovery here from Liry. Both players thinking about Castle Age. There's the market, as expected. And, well, I don't know how to hype up Skirm v Skirm more than I already have. The main thing that I think that I could point out right now is at least Andy has the stone to sell, which can give him a bit of a boost here. But otherwise, it's pretty close. T90, which AoE2 Pro is most likely to get Truman Showed IRL? Oh, I don't know if I want to answer that. I actually had a player come to my mind immediately, but I would bet that like 70% of the pro scene has never seen the Truman Show in the first place. No comment. No comment. Oh, man. Wow, I think these Castle Age times are going to be really close. But the skirm situation is looking a little bit better for Liry at the moment. Now, on one hand, I don't think FreakinAndy's going to care that much because he just wanted to be safe. He wanted to chill. He wanted to get his walls down, and that's exactly what he's going to be able to do right now. But on the other hand, skirms can be helpful if you're going to go up monks. So I think this actually removes monks from the equation a little bit. Your opponent's still having all these skirmishers here. Someone said Dave. Dave, you would think, like, if you know Dave, you would think, nah, Dave he's too smart, right? Dave would never, you know, fall for it. He would never get Truman Showed. But the thing is, I think Dave could get Truman Showed because he thinks he's so smart, right? Right? He has so much confidence in himself. Sometimes in situations where he shouldn't have any confidence at all. I could see it. I could see it. When I hear him talk strategy sometimes, I think, I don't know. Yes, we did have a farm snapped by a skirmisher. Very hype. Much wow. Well, Liry knows right now what this stone mining means. Won't be any surprises here. So, it's going to be Hussite wagons. Now, Hussite wagons are fantastic against skirms. They're weak against monks, and they're weak against siege. So here's what I want Andy to go for. I want Andy to go for the ultimate mind game. I think Liry could fall for it, and I've seen it before. You ready? This is what you do. You drop the castle, obviously. You make, let's say, 1 or 2 wagons. And you make Liry think, oh god, they're both going for a castle? Oh god. Villagers move! Guys, I think we have a game 7. I think we have a game 7. Guys, freaking move off the foundation. Oh no, the skirms are here. Disaster. Well, hold on. Okay, we have a lot of things happening here. Castles need to go up. I was not expecting this. Liry he was going to go for a forward castle. Then realized that Andy had spotted him. Andy's castle's going up faster than Liry's because he's brought more vills. Liry... Well, he should complete his castle, but he could lose more villagers here. Castle needs to shoot the villagers here, which it will do. And now you need petards. No way! This is just a petard off? This is just a petard off? It's just gonna be petard war right now. That's all this is gonna be. Alright, so one person makes petards. Boom. Other guy makes petards. Boom. Villagers box on both sides. There is a small chance that because the villagers are blocking the petard pathing, that petards go down to the castle. Liry's castle is actually on the hill, so I think he's receiving less damage from the petards. But then there's also a ram here from Andy. I mean, they need to be buying food like crazy. They need to be sending everything. Okay, we've got a ram here as well. And Liry has now chose to use a petard on the ram. I'm not sure what's worth it. Petard on the ram or petard on the castle? I go petard on the castle, personally. Ooh, that petard got microed. Oh, it's a ram war. Oh, it's a skirm war. Oh, it's a petard war. Petard goes down. Ram still alive. Ram being repaired. Liry's castle's going down faster. The villagers are repairing the ram. The villagers are dying to the castle. The population is close. We do not have any more petards on the way for Liry! And that petard just makes it. Liry is falling apart. But so is FreakinAndy. They are both falling apart. Also, wouldn't it make sense to keep more vills garrisoned here for arrow fire? I think it does, right? Ram is still there. That ram is the MVP right now. And there's a shout out to the spears, shout out to the skirms, shout out to everything inside of the ram. Disaster for Andy. He can't get to the ram. His own wall is blocking it. He's brought his own ram. There's another petard on the way. What is happening? We've got villagers repairing. We've got villagers attacking. We've got petards. We've got rams. We've got more petards. And he's going to lose his castle. So Andy has to take out Liry's castle. Otherwise, we go to a game 7. And guys, we are headed to the game 7. There's no way that this castle gets taken out. What a crazy moment. And I just want to bring it back to that third game, man. It's crazy that I'm even saying this, but that third game where Andy could have won it, where Liry had that crazy performance to stay alive, kept him in this series. And man, I'd be sweating right now. Like, I would just be, so in my own head if I were FreakinAndy. All the momentum's going to be with Liry. I don't know what the home maps are like, but in terms of the flow of the series, that's what I would say. So, here's why I think FreakinAndy's dead. I know their vill count's even, but, like, castle's in the middle of the map. It protects a lot of resources, right? But also, it's a Lithuanian castle. So lattice can be made. And, like, you could make the siege against the rams or whatever, but he can't afford to make anything against the lattice. So the lattice will just kill everything. And the GG's called. Wow. So, interesting. We don't have the ram count here, but I actually think that one ram from Liry... So 2 things happen. I think his castle is technically on the hill, so I think he's receiving less damage from the petards. But I think this ram, this repair, this little moment, which we saw, was actually the game-winning move 4 villagers somehow stacked on top of each other repairing that ram was enough to change things here. Because, I mean, this whole time, Lyrey's losing vills. But he still got repairs in. And he still then had consistent damage output from that ram. Maybe if Andy deleted the wall, he could attack the ram. If he does that, though, maybe the castle fire can range the vills. I'm not sure. Yeah, not to mention the ram garrison is also... It really helps in those instances, too. So, listen, I mean, I'm not going to be too critical of FreakinAndy there because Liry was going to be the one to castle drop him first. Like, it really felt to me like Liry's castle was going to go down more forward if Andy didn't react that way. It just turned into a crazy situation. So, Game 7 coming up, guys. It's been a hell of a series. Amazing series to come back to after a long break for me. Certainly has delivered. Nice job from Liry to win the game and to not lose his cool here in the round of 16. So, game number 7, we've got Burgundians for FreakinAndy. We've got Turks for Liry, and I was wondering how close they would be. They are relatively close by arena standards, I would say. This can happen on the Warlords generation, and it, again, is a 9-villager start, which I think makes things easier for both civs and what they're trying to do here. The main question, though, is will the Turk player be extremely aggressive? I almost feel like against Burgundians, you feel like you have to. And if there's going to be aggression, there could be castle drops and there could be pressure through the on the front. And what you want if you're Andy, you want back gold, you want back stone, and he's even got back berries. Every resource is kind of on the back side here for Andy, which is extremely good for him. I think this matchup is pretty close. I personally prefer the Burgundians, but that's just due to my style. I'm more of an economic player. Now, I think a normal game with the Burgundians against other civs, where you're not worried about gunpowder, you would probably go for the stable, and you would boom, and you would go for light cav. I think experienced players these days, they're not going for the stable against Turks, and they'll actually go for like double monastery. And they'll just choose to boom and go for monks instead. Now, that can be problematic if you go for monks and you try and move out across the map, and then there's light cap from Turks. So that's what makes it tricky, because Turks getting the free light cap upgrade makes things very tricky for you. So yeah, K-Trad, thanks for the gifted sub. Appreciate it. But yes, to the person who frowned and said their brother thinks I'm an idiot, I would say your brother's actually correct. I am pretty idiotic. So your brother, I don't know if he's your older brother and you look up to him, but he's actually spot on. So I'm not actually upset about that comment, because I would say he's probably correct. So Liry's going to come home. He's going to push in the rest of his deer. And while I wouldn't normally associate Liry with arena, I think he's still fairly capable on it. I think there's certain moments in arena games where the really experienced arena players are going to need some knowledge, but he still should have a strong idea of how he needs to approach this, and I would be very surprised if Liry chooses to just boom. I think choosing to boom against the Burgundians, I think it can just be a disaster. The resources collected normally so much higher for the Burgundians in a boom v boom scenario. What you could do is you can accept that your eco is going to be worse, and you can then go for a the relics. And if you think the Turk late game is way stronger, then you can just kind of hold off for a while, but I think that's a risky way to play it. Dougie MacArthur says, if someone buys me a sub, I will take a break from the archery range jokes. That was a nice try, Dougie. Very creative way to ask for subs. Okay, I know what the build is here for Liry, guys. This is going to be extremely all-in. He's going to go stable. Well, actually, he may not go stable. But he's either going to go spearman to protect his vills so he can go forward and castle drop, or he's going to add light cav, and he's going to use light cav to protect the castle drop. I believe this is the case because of the barracks, obviously, but also the fact that he's queued up Loom. Loom tells me he's going to leave his base. Dougie MacArthur just got a sub. All right, Dougie, I don't want to hear any more jokes, all right? It worked. Everybody else is starting to beg, and you guys just got to be more creative, all right? I'm going to look at his history, though, to see... Actually, the comment before that was an archery range joke. Dougie wasn't kidding. All right, so stable, market. And here we're going to have stable and market. Resources collected. Very strong for Andy. Is Liry really just going to play light cap boom? Is he not going to transfer vills to stone? Ah, there it is. Okay. Yeah, this build is really tricky. Nothing about this would really look weird to me besides the loom click if he wasn't going to stone. But now that he's gone for loom and he's also going to stone, this confirms our suspicions. Oh, man. Well, how many vills will he send forward? And where will he build the castle? Based on what Liry can see, he knows his opponent is here. I actually feel like dropping a castle here is perfect in terms of where you're pressuring the walls. But I always feel like if you're castle dropping, you should always castle drop next to their stones or their golds. So the fact the stones and the golds are here is going to make things really awkward because you don't want to look for that. If you spend too much time looking for that or you walk too far for it, it's a waste of time. This build is very low eco, by the way. Like, this has to be a successful push. He's essentially sacrificing economically in every possible way against the Civ that has every possible bonus to get ahead in eco. So it's just like, if Andy doesn't take damage from this, Andy's going to have a massive eco lead. I've never seen more people without a sub make an archery range joke. There's a new meta here. Light Cav upgrade will be in immediately for Liry when he makes it to the next age. And here he goes with the vills. All right. So I think he's going to castle drop here because he wants the gold. I feel as though that gold is so important. Now, Andy is going to see his opponent has light cav, and so there might be a part of him that thinks, oh, okay, so he's actually just not going to castle drop me. That's really nice. But he's going to find out in a second where that castle is going to go. And essentially, if Liry wanted just Janissaries, he could have gone without the light cav and made the castle at home, but he wants the castle on his face. Nice. Now, again, when you get castle dropped, you really want to be in a safe situation with your resources. So having this back gold, having this back stone is really good. The thing I'd say is, you can't just go monks now because there's going to be light cav. So, like, this could be devastating. I think what Liry will rely on, instead of a proper food and wood eco, what he's going to rely on is he's going to buy a lot of resources with all this gold. This is actually perfect. This is as good as it can get with this build, I think, from Liry. Because you're on his gold, you're on his walls. Your Turks mining the gold so much faster feels really smooth here. Andy going to house wall this area. And he's going to sneak out here to snag a relic. I really like that move. I think he needs to be fully walled in every area, though. You can't have light cav running through. He is going to wall this. This just becomes so tough to play from here. Liry will be kicking himself that he allowed that relic to be brought in. But these other relics are pretty close by for him. And it's tough for Andy to be active with his light cav out there when he needs to defend at home. So Andy might not be able to focus on that right now. Janissaries and light cav walking through. Monks have 9 range. Janissaries have just 7, but the Janissaries do so much damage, so you could still kill the monks very quickly. Remember, 2 TCs, producing villagers all the time. Eco upgrades against no eco upgrades. Liry needs to kill. He doesn't need to kill just yet, though. Like, if he wants to chill and just get those relics before he mounts the next push, he could do so. I actually wouldn't mind Atonement. Like, 3 monks with Atonement for Liry could be pretty sick. To just convert the monks from Andy. But the clock is ticking here, guys. In some ways for Liry. Doesn't even have double bid axe. Like, this is not an economy that could go places for very long. And he adds a blacksmith, which tells me not that he wants blacksmith upgrades, but that he needs that so he can go for siege. I'm not sure I love siege. It does feel like in some ways that Liry doesn't know exactly what to do next. And now the guy who received a gifted subs is making more jokes at my expense. You said no jokes! You said no jokes! I guess you said no archery range jokes, technically. There's the siege workshop from Liry. Monks are ready for Andy. And no conversions yet. Honestly, wouldn't hate devotion. It is really expensive. But if this push has to work in Castle Age, it's not like you're going to be saving the food for Imp, right? Loses 1 Janissary. Nice job from Andy. Now what Andy wants, guys, is he wants enough time to build up towards a castle here, and Imp himself. There's devotion now. 4 relics for Liry, 1 relic for Andy. But it's now 1,000 resources collected for Andy over Liry. And, like, these farms are still going to last a while. He's still got the house walls. Ooh, garrisoning in and out of the ram would be sick here. Oh, come on. Liry, go in the ram. That's such a good play, right? Because the monks can't convert you. If he was sitting in the ram, he could just hop out of the ram and shoot the monks. That's actually a play that I think more players need to do more frequently, but maybe I've been watching too many Phosphor games. Oh, man. He's going to go in and try and kill the monks. He has devotion now, so he should be okay. Monastery's just being repaired. The Lycav can't really kill the ram, though. A tough situation for Andy, who's adding a mangonel behind this. 12 villager lead. Monks are actually leaving his base. He needs to fix that. And he does get a conversion. He's going to lose 2 monks, which is a little sloppy, honestly, from FreakinAndy. But understandable under this much pressure. Okay, so now Liry's going to try and go Imp. Interesting. He's going to try and go Imp. 41 vills. Ram. The ram is not going to stay up or stay alive for much longer. At least as long as Andy realizes the situation. And there goes Liry up to Imp. Sick play from Liry. And sick play from Andy, though. Like, Andy should see the score dip. And Andy should think about Imp, but he actually can't click up yet. There he goes. Wow, what a game, guys. What a game. So should be about a 20 villager lead for FreakinAndy when he makes it to Imp. Because he still has 1 TC producing vills. Has lost a couple vills. Still has the monks around, hoping for conversions. Monks are really important here for Andy, so he can convert any bombard cannons, but Trebs could be an issue. And Liry's economy, considering he doesn't have eco upgrades, is still really good. Like, this is as well managed a no eco upgrade economy could be, I would say. You know what would really make this game wild, guys? 2 petards from Andy and a couple Lycav in Liry's base. Can you imagine just busting through, just sending it right in? Oh, it'd be so good. I don't think Flemish Revolution should work here. Monks and Trebs could work, though. Keep in mind, Liry only has 7 villagers forward to repair. FreakinAndy has his whole eco here, so he can always pull more vills. And again, like, Liry doesn't have the resources to work with. But he has the timing. He can make a bombard cannon right away and a Treb right away. Both really big deal here. Oh, man. Now, chemistry is probably going to be something that Andy goes for as well, so he can eventually make bombard cannons. But there's a couple minute difference in the timings there. There's hussars inside of that castle. Free hussar upgrades, always nice. It's been a close game. I actually think this is how this matchup should be played from the Turks. There's only a couple minor things I'd say for Liry. Like, I think not having double bid axe and horse collar at this stage is something he could have, you know, fixed. But, like, overall, I think how he's played this is really good. Very fortunate there. Does take out the block printing monastery, though. And now he's got his bombard cannon. And now the trebs from Andy need to be careful. Andy has to be careful with these monks, too. He has to be really careful with these monks. Oh, man. This is nuts. Okay, block printing's now on the way, so he doesn't have the range yet. Actually, this treb could go down. He's going to threaten the bombard cannons. But I think he actually did that right there because he doesn't have the range yet. And he doesn't... Oh, doesn't have his treb in a good position. Liry's pushing. Repairs from Andy, though. Block printing still not in. Treb's still up somehow. Castle needs to be repaired as well. There's a lot of things happening. Boom! That shot from Liry. Are you kidding me? Killed 4 monks there, guys. And now, I don't think Liry needs to be worried. He'll sacrifice a couple more units if he has to. He runs forward. He's ready to pounce. Another monk goes down. 30 villager lead for Andy, but what army does he have, guys? Andy's not going to have the army here. Liry's going to win this game. Liry's going to snipe another treb. The castle falls for Andy. Complete panic mode for Andy. Andy's got nothing. Andy could have won this series 4-0. 4-0, guys. He was up 2-0. Game 3, he almost had. Then he won game 4. Liry refused to quit. He's got so much army, and he's just slow crawling in towards Andy's base. Andy just... He can't make many monks. He can't make them fast enough. And he was going to make Kustiet, but he doesn't have a castle. So he's just got to drop one back here for units. I think Liry could use more of his own monks. He seems to have made quite a few of them here. It helps with healing. It could help with converting some units as well. And then obviously Janissaries are the key. I don't even think he needs many more trebs or bombard cannons. It's just units from now. Because you don't need to take out more buildings. It's just about killing the enemy units at this point. The castle was there to protect. The castle's not there any longer for Andy. And even though he converts a bombard cannon, you can see how rough this is for him. This would be a heartbreaking loss for Andy. He seriously played so well. Has played well enough to win this series 2 hours ago. Except a couple things going wrong here or there. There's the siege coming forward. But Andy's got nothing. You can't stop this. Wow. Game 3 is going to haunt FreakinAndy. I would love to, you know, use this moment to say... Because I did make what could be seen as a pretty nice call out, right? Like saying that in the middle of game 3 that if Liry won that game that he would win this series. I'd love to, like, for my ego, gloat about that. But I just feel bad. Anyone else just feels so bad for Andy? I'm pumped for Liry. I want to see more action from Liry in this tournament. Would have been crazy for him to lose the round of 16. Ultimately, he's using his quality. And a beautiful comeback from him. But we're looking at FreakinAndy just not want to accept that this is over for him right now. He swoops in. He kills some monks. But there's still bombard cannons. There's still trebs. And he just does not have the military. There's going to be a bombard cannon from him somewhere. This bombard cannon. This bombard cannon's the key. Bombard cannon could take the trebs, give him a little bit of time. He still has the villager lead. He was able to escape over here with a new TC. Now, he may be spotted by Liry, but Liry can't exactly push there. Andy is microing this bombard cannon like his life depends on it, because it does. Oh, and the GG is called. Liry, who is down 3-1, Liry, who maybe should have been swept, wins the round of 16. And, you know, that's just the heartbreaking thing. You know, you have, like, the crazy highs for Liry, who gets to move on. You also have the lows there for Andy. So I feel for him. But I will say this about both players. They were both extremely consistent today, right? When Liry lost games, he just kept bringing the same level and a whole lot of fight. Usually with Liry, I don't actually see a ton of grit and fight. That's never really been a trait for him, honestly. I think what you see is extreme skill, extreme talent, and then he crushes people. Today, he was the one getting crushed. He was the one who was struggling, and he just kept coming, and he kept working, and he clawed it back one game at a time, one moment at a time. Here for Andy, it's really hard for me to suggest what he could have done differently. I think the build from Liry was near perfect when he needed it. Unit-wise, I actually don't think it was a unit situation for Andy at all. I think he needed to be imp a little bit faster. He needed to keep a few more of his monks alive and hope for a couple more conversions. Because he had like a 20 villager lead, right? If he was able to maintain that and not lose that castle so quickly early imp, then maybe you favor his position. He did collect 5,000 more resources, but with the gold mining of the Turks, the strong Janissaries and the Hussars, and then also the relic gold, Liry was able to make a lot of military. He was able to push, and he was able to get the job done before this went late. Well played from Liry. He'll move on. And yeah, I think he will have learned some lessons here too. Liry's certainly not going to be seen as unbeatable, whoever Liry potentially runs into. But I think that sometimes playing a series like this, getting true tournament games in is way better than any practice will ever be. So I expect a stronger Liry in the next round.